It is episode BIC, episode 153, live to tape. And it's definitely not because Carlos is too lazy to edit, if that's what you're thinking. Definitely not.
Never.
No.
Nope. So all I have to say is this for not editing. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But yes, we are in the post-Expo hangover. That is what I've titled the episode. 2025 Toronto Sports Card Expo Hangover. We're going to talk some stories. The usual segments will be back next week. So no silly card of the week this week, although I will give you the results of last week's. We will make sure we include that. I've got some props and things around me so I can talk through a couple of the things related to it. The guys. And at some point, Eric may need to spontaneously go and lubricate a pool noodle. More of that on Friday. We'll discuss it at length. Brandon, Bobbles and Ball Cards, made his first trek to Canada. We did have a live where we talked about that a little bit, but we'll be able to expand on it. Now we have the full experience. We have completed his first trek to Canada for the Toronto Expo. So we've got a lot of things we can talk about. And then more expanded on Friday, but at least we'll get her going on this one. So that and more on this episode of the BIC podcast. Under the watchful eyes of Brett Favre, as always. And there was some Brett Favre contained in various items. I did record part 2 of my pickup videos. I didn't include the bigger items, so I may just show a couple of them while we're doing the course of this. Of course, since it is a live, we'll of course acknowledge the comments, and we'll talk through it a little bit as well. And like I said, Eric may spontaneously combust at any time, so no promises, but we'll hang out for at least a little while and talk through a couple of things. So real quick, Bobby Burrell is the first one out here. Oh, it is. It is indeed.
Bobby, are we still friends? Bobby's mad at me. I did a boo-boo.
Deservedly so.
So, I was trying to help Bobby out, and I didn't do as good of a job as I should have, and but I am going to remedy the situation, and we're going to get him these penguin stickers that belong to him, that should be in his hands, yet are still in my hands here in the Massachusetts. He is.
So what you're saying, what I'm hearing, Bobby, and you let me know if you're hearing the same thing. What Eric is saying is that he's going to take, a couple of minutes here, and then he's going to take off, and then drive up 10 hours to make sure that you get your stuff back, so that all is right in the world. It's the least he can do.
That's not what I think I was saying.
I believe that's what he was saying, Brandon.
I don't think
that sounds very
he
clear.
He was going to remedy it. I mean,
to me, that seems like the only logical way to remedy this issue.
No, I'm gonna put it in the mailbox. Is what I'm gonna do.
Wow. And then you're gonna put the mailbox inside of your car and then drive it up 10 hours to get it back to Bobby.
Protection.
We're still having some type of communication issue here, boys.
I think it's the Massachusetts accent. Like I'm just not hearing you. Just not hearing what you're saying here.
I just got home an hour ago. I am not turning around and going back.
A whole hour? Time to get back up there. All right. Jeff here says, hello. Hope everyone had a great expo. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Name here says, glad Eric could make it back in time for his fans. True. It's all about fans.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby said he's dead after school. That's right, Bobby. You tell him. You tell him.
Yeah.
You tell him. All right. So real quick. The usual segment will not be in place since obviously everybody was kind of rushing back. Eric just got back. Brandon was back yesterday. He did record a video on his channel, so if you want to check it out, we always include links in the description so you can check that out as well. So feel free to get his initial experiences and a little walkthrough and a little bit of information about that, and then more to come. I've already recorded part 2 of the pickups. I will show a couple of the physical items. The cards are all accounted for now. The second half of the video covered a lot. The rest of it, there was a lot. It actually took me a while. It was like 15, 16, 17 minutes of me going through cards, basically just to cover all the cards that were there, because a lot of it came from ComC, Ship My Cards, Fanatics, all these things combined. So it was all the next happened. So we'll see how that goes. So let me scroll through here. Name says, I'm surprised Eric is not at the Hockey Hall of Fame watching the all-time Bruins GOAT being elected in the Hall of Fame. Joe Thornton.
Name can go pound sand, and so can you.
Wow. Just scandalous. Josh, who says the day after Expo, you know what that means? Because I'm Carlos Alive. Facts, Josh. Facts.
Always good
I
to
like
see
this.
Josh. We got a chance to see Josh up there, and
We did.
you know, it was always good to see him. I wish he could have spent more time with us. He was kind of in and out, and he is the master, the king of the Irish goodbye. So, I was glad that I could see him just for a few minutes before he just, vanished like Kaiser Sose. It
Wow. Amazing.
was good to see him.
I'm moved by your words. And I like this. I like this that it includes the sir at the end. That's my favorite part about this. So Ziggy has a question. He goes, "Did you get a legal request to remove your video with Dan?" No. I appreciate the sir at the end, but the answer is no. I did not.
The answer is no. That is true.
Yep. 99 cent sports card. Great recap video, Bobbles. Excellent. Glad you caught that. Good stuff. Beautiful.
Listen to it on the way home. Yeah, you did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sounds good. Now, quick, I will kind of add it aside because I did touch on that during the live that we did during the expo. I was very clear that I said the video is, I'm very comfortable standing behind the work that was done in the video, but also I said it's business as usual until I have reason to make it otherwise. Well, it continues to be business as usual. So here we are. So right now I'm continuing to operate as business as usual, and that's the plan. So we'll go from there. I will let you all know if for some reason that changes, but for now, we continue business as usual. We saunter on. Word. So let me quickly touch on a couple things. I do want to make sure, even though we're not going to do the segment this week because we want to give everybody a chance to actually go and get their stuff together, I will mention for the silly card of the week, we did get some votes last week, so I will give you the results nonetheless. The results were the spirit animal. I understood that it was a dark horse. I understood that, so it's good. But it did receive 11% of the popular vote. The spirit of the Blue Jay fan not being pleased did at least get acknowledged, so I appreciate that. Gordie Howe's best teammate received 32% of the popular vote. A strong offering. But it appears that not a man of peace. Brandon's selection received 57% of the popular vote. So congratulations, Brandon. You are the winner of this past week's Silly Card of the Week. And as always, we will bring back, like I said, next week, we'll bring back all the regular segments. So we'll give everybody a week to get their stuff together. They'll get a chance to find the next silly card candidate that they will bring to the table, and we'll bring it back, and it'll be a community post like normal. They'll all come back here. Hey, Carlos, nice to meet you at the expo. Lappers, buddy. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, man. It was awesome to hang out with you and seeing you again at the show. But at Thursday night, awesome time. Hope to see you again next time I'm up there.
Good stuff. So that was really kind of the story. That's why I said I wanted to take this episode to take advantage of it and talk a little bit of stories. Now we've got some visual aids for some of this stuff, which is handy. It's very good. So why don't I start at the end? I'll do one, and then Brandon, if you want to talk a quick story, you can. We'll go to Eric, and we'll kind of go back and forth, and we can share a different one. Let me start at the end, because one of the things that we had talked about before the expo was that Mike Medana was going to do his signing on Sunday. So I did have an inside man, a man who is loosely affiliated to Dan from Saugus. Loosely affiliated. Oh. Sworn enemy of Madford Providence. Sworn enemy of Shriners. Sworn enemy of decency. Eric Wade.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like I covered your main characteristics. Yeah, now so this is unofficially part of the pickups. Technically, it qualifies here. So I did not have to be there when the signing was happening because that would require effort. So instead, I have people for that. And it's key to have people. I'm very consistent on this point. People are key.
Yeah, it's important.
Yep. So as a result, and I'll show you here, we've got the following. So there is Mike Medana signing one of the jerseys that I have in my possession. And then this is the 2000 All-Star jersey, which is a personal favorite of mine. I'll give you quickly the background on it, and then Eric can add a little flavor to this. So that is actually the jersey that I bought back in the 2000 All-Star game. So it's specifically one that I've had since the year 2000. It was North America versus the world. And the jersey itself, Modano actually wore number 27 because I believe it was Paul Correa who had the number 9 for Team North America that particular year. So he was wearing 27, which is I think it's the only time I've seen him have a 27, and it was happened to be that year. And that was my personal jersey that I wore and had during the high school era. So it's good to have the signature directly on it. It's something that I'll hang on to. That's probably one that I will find room to display. And Eric, for the All-Star one, you mentioned that there was something Modano made note on this particular jersey.
Yeah, he was kind of excited to see it. It was dropped in front of him, and the guys must have signed 1 million jerseys. And usually it's a Dallas 9, and it was dropped in front of him, and he kind of sat back a bit. And the gentleman that was, his handler, as they're called, he's the one that said 27, and Madonna's like, yeah, I think it was. He's trying to remember, and he lifted it up and looked at the patch on it to see which All-Star game it was, because the guy was in a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, yeah, I think it was Paul Correa had 9, and he had me on seniority. And he kind of laughed. And, he thought the jersey was cool. And, here he is signing it. And he couldn't have been nicer. Very, very nice guy. I've worked with a lot of people this weekend. He was genuinely a nice guy. Really, really is. So, they say don't meet your heroes. If you had the opportunity to sit with him for a while, I think you'd be pretty happy that he really does seem to be genuine. There was a guy, one of the things that were left to be signed was his debut ticket for him in juniors or something. Mm-hmm. And he was so excited to see this ticket. He was asking the handler that was working with him a ton of questions about it, and the guy really couldn't answer any of them. And all of a sudden, he's just like, "I need to talk to this guy." And he's like, "Well, yeah, we'll find him. He's a dealer here." So he's like, "I don't know if he's the one that's always had the ticket, or he bought it somewhere, but he's a dealer out there. I mean, if you want to talk to him, I can get him." And Mike was like, "Yeah, I want to talk to him." Mm-hmm. To get more information on where this ticket came from. And then the guy was like, "Well, do you want to buy it?" And he was hemming and hawing about whether or not he wanted to buy it or not. So whatever this debut ticket was that he had signed already, I would assume that he doesn't really want a ticket that he signed. You know what I mean? He probably would have purchased it beforehand, but he was very excited about seeing this ticket, and he wanted to see this guy. Now imagine you send something in to get signed by, like, for example, yourself to Mike Modano, right? Maybe we sent those jerseys in, and he got excited about the 27 and said, "I want to meet this guy." And all of a sudden you get a call from the handler saying, "Yes, Carlos, hi, this is Eric. I'm back here with Mike. He wants to see you." Can you imagine the backflips you would do? I mean,
well, hold on, Eric. And Brad can tell you that I have had the opportunity to have the thing where I met. My answer to be like, it's the morning. My retainer fee is as follows.
No, I understand all you. Yes, let's.
My actions have spoken louder than words, Brandon.
Yes,
my actions have spoken.
On the point I'm trying to make. It's okay. Pretty cool that all of a sudden this guy wants to meet one of the customers. So I bet when that ended up happening, the guy was pretty excited about it, I would assume.
Sure. Not like I'm not disagreeing with your general principle, but I'm just saying, like, I get this call all the time, Eric. The adoring public, it's a lot. It's a lot.
The adoring public.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
So Dave says Trading Expo stories tonight. Absolutely. Sweet autos, nice picks. Thank you, Noy. Good memories. Yes, that was good. And I will say, though, it was nice that they actually did have the signing at a reasonable time. Sunday is actually not too bad, because usually the way Sunday normally works for me is normally that's the checkout day. However, I did extend my stay for one more night because I actually had some extra vacation days that were offered by work. So actually Monday and Tuesday are off days for me. So I'll be back in the office on Wednesday, which is fine. But that actually meant I had the extra day, which meant that I kind of checked in and checked out. It was weird how the hotel needed to do it. They needed to kind of reset the card, but I got to keep the same room, so it was fine. But so yeah, normally I'd be like just already heading on the way out by that point. But usually Sunday is when I can do it. Scheduling wise, it worked out great, but it was a good move on my part to make sure is that I made sure Eric had the jerseys the day before. That way we were covered and he was already going to be there. So we had arrangements already set up.
Yep.
AJ Sports is good. I've done business with them in the past. Good to hear. Excellent. Burrell says here 9 times 3 equals 27. So that was 3 times better with that jersey on. Or is that what I'm going with? Go with it, Bobby. The maths have spoken.
AJ was great, letting me do what I did, and to be 100,000,000% honest, the only reason it happened was because AJ is friends with Phil Castanetti, my friend / boss, and I got permission from Phil to name drop him. And he said, absolutely, go right ahead. I told him the exact truth, what I needed, why I needed it. Can I name drop you? And he said, absolutely, go right ahead. And went up and, AJ, hi, Eric Wade, work at Sports World for Phil. And he, told me to reach out to you to get this done. And he's absolutely grabbed the handler and said, listen, this guy's a friend of a friend. Take care of him. So that is how it happened. It's because of Phil, and so that's kind of how I was able to do it, because I don't think AJ is the kind of guy that would let Joe Numbskull just walk back there and ask for what I asked for. He's pretty strict on some things. He's not always flexible, and I think he would have been like, no, you can go stand in line and pay whatever. But instead, we got a good deal on it. I got a puck done for myself. This is my very first autograph of Mike Modano, and it was good to get it in person. I have no other of autographs of him. I've been saying to Carlos for maybe 6 months now, I got to get a card with his, an autograph of him, because I don't have one. I mean, he's like the best, greatest statistically, American hockey player, and I don't even have a card of the guy with an auto on it. But now I'm good. I got that in person, got a chance to meet him and talk to him a bit. But it's really because I was able to drop Phil's name, and AJ was like, yeah, sure, come on. So,
and now going forward, and Brandon can attest to this as well. Now going forward, though, you've got that in your back pocket, but you could also just flash the mug.
I could just flash the mug.
The mug is power.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just walk back.
Hashtags and everything.
Just walk back there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm gonna just talk to Mike Modano for a minute.
Yep.
And then go, yep.
Well,
so
since we're doing story time and Eric's sharing stories.
Yeah. Real quick, Brandon,
Eric,
just before you do, Brandon, Eric, could you read this specific comment, please? It's a specific comment.
So Eric can do things in a timely manner for Carlos, but not Bobby. I see how it is. I'm trying to be 5% more mature because it's Monday, but I hate this guy. I absolutely hate him. And
I didn't want Brandon. I didn't want this to pass. That was an important comment. I wanted to make sure it was read.
I hope that you have to go to the restroom at 3 a.m. and you stub your toe on the door jamb. Okay? That's what I hope happens to you.
Godlike Electables, good evening. Good evening, Stephen, with the PH. Didn't know you were alive. I thought we have to wait until Friday, Eric. Did you get your ashtray? Alas, nay.
Man, people laughed at me. Literally laughed at me when I asked if they, certain people, if they have one, if they've seen one, do they know where I can get one? People literally started laughing. They're like, no, that's impossible. They don't exist. They don't exist. Never seen one. No, you'll never find one. So, no.
Good evening, Orlando. So this is a question for Bobby. Eric, is that Andrew from AJ's?
Yes.
There you go. Orlando says, nice puck. Laura says, good evening, all. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. All right, Brandon, go ahead. Now I'm all caught up.
I just want Eric to share the story from his best friend when he took me to introduce him.
Mm.
Introduce me to him.
Okay.
I would like Eric to tell the story because it is his best friend.
Well, first of all, you have to admit live, and you have to admit truthfully, because Carlos obviously has been busting my chops for a couple of years now about this, and I play it up and I act funny about it. So
that he said that you were like, yeah, he got your emails, but meaning text messages, and you could lay off a little bit, and that
happened.
Somebody asked him for a phone number, and he's like, yeah, I don't have it, but I probably know who does, because
none of that happened. So you're not helping the cause. So you're not helping the cause. So what I need you to admit right here on live YouTubes is to admit and tell everyone that I really am truly friends with him. He knows who I am. We have a history, and he's happy to see me when I go to see him.
So due to YouTube sports card content and there being some legal afflictions going on allegedly, I cannot speak on history because I don't have receipts or evidence.
Brandon,
of
are you stating that you are not here to talk about the past?
I don't know the past. All I know is the man did acknowledge Eric.
Wow.
He did not, however, stand up to shake his hand, so you can take that for what it's worth. He didn't know who he was. Now, whether that's a good thing for Eric or a bad thing. Anyway, yes. We did. Eric did know where Marcel was. He took me and introduced me.
Like any good stalker would. Go on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not getting you to admit that. Okay. All right. That's fine. So I did bring you over to meet Marcel. I asked you if you wanted to meet him. You said you did. So I said, sure, let's go meet him. I went over and talked to him for a little bit, and then I introduced you, and he did stand up for you. And you said, oh, please, you don't have to stand up for me, sir, and all that. And he was happy to do it and talk to you for a bit. And then he announced to the entire expo that he likes your beard.
Yeah.
So Marcel Dion told you he likes your beard.
Yes. And I just wanted you to say it that way. Nobody thought I was bullshit.
No, the words came out of his mouth. I questioned his sanity after, but he did say that on his own free will, and said he liked your beard.
And just for that, I became an official hockey card collector from the expo. Like, I mean, we have the best of the best here.
Yes.
That
is correct. In the correct mag holder. Thank you.
Yeah. We got that one.
Yeah.
And then we have that one.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah. And
in the correct holder. I love it.
And notice that these are different pictures.
That's a great Photoshop. Yeah, like that's the weirdest looking Calgary Flames uniform I've seen.
These are different photos. So
wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And then of course.
Yes. And then we and then what was that? That was on Sunday morning. We were back over there.
And Sunday morning he called me a pain in the ass, but that's okay.
Well, that means he likes you.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's official. Yeah.
And
then on my way driving home on Sunday, I happened to look at my Instagram and noticed that Tim Hortons liked my Instagram post.
I don't understand.
So I mean, I don't know what to say. Eric's car gets searched trying to cross the border. The guys just let me pass right on through. Yeah. I got Marcel standing up to shake my hand. I got Tim Hortons like an Instagram post. Like, I feel welcomed.
Now why don't you show everyone the picture you guys took? You got your picture, right? You took a pic. I
didn't get a picture with him. The wife did. I wasn't in the picture. She said, I thought you were going to get the picture. And I was like,
we didn't get a picture of you with him.
No,
I wasn't
in the picture.
I like that you're misremembering a picture that didn't happen.
I took a picture of somebody with him. I don't know. I thought
yeah, my
I was
wife
gonna
did.
say-
She got
I
a
was gonna
picture
say.
with him, but I wasn't in the picture.
That's what makes it better.
She actually said when she looked at it, she's like, he could almost be my father.
Oh well.
Fantastic. I like it. I like it.
We'll
All
have
right.
to we'll remedy that next time. All right.
Yep. Josh here says, did Eric have any Canadian mayo on this trip up north this time? But he tried to avoid it like the plague. Let me tell you, he ordered the restaurant. He goes, no. He's like, no mayo. And I'm sitting there like, sounds like a double mayo situation to me.
If his wife wasn't under the weather, I'm pretty sure mine would have coordinated for him to have returned to a mayo party.
Oh, yes.
But she didn't want to bother his wife.
Obviously.
No, my wife was very, very sick the entire time. Still miserable, but doing better. But still, had to sit, 9.5 hours home because of the weather slowed us down. Just miserable in the car all day. Just feel horrible.
To her credit, though, I will say, give her regards to Michelle. Also, give her regards to Michelle because she was a trooper. She did try to come down, at least make appearances a couple of times. Yeah. So she wasn't feeling well. So we give her great credit for at least trying to pop in briefly before she had to go back upstairs. So credit to her for that. So Rob here. It was great for Julie and I to meet you at the AMG booth. Sorry we didn't get to talk with Eric and Brandon. Yes, my pleasure. Great chatting with you both. It was funny, actually. I got a chance to see Rob and his wife several times. We were around. It was because they would walk around and I'd wind up at different booths. It's like, I just materialize where I'm needed. I was at Steve's booth and I saw them. I did chat with them at the AMG booth, obviously. And I saw them a couple of times throughout the show, but it's always nice to put a face to the name. Don't be a stranger. Always feel free to leave comments because we do read them. And at the same time, a pleasure chatting with you both.
Yeah. Hope to see you next time.
Absolutely. Laura says, we are not worthy, sir. Brandon, your power is mighty.
Yeah.
Truly mighty.
No kidding.
It was a great experience.
Good stuff. So we'll touch on a couple other things. So I'll tell you what, so I already gave a quick story related to one of the jerseys and everything. I've got a couple other things here that obviously I can do, but Eric, real quick, in the spirit of just timing and making sure we get it, is there anything specifically, item, situation, you did hang out with, you harass some hockey players as you often do. Is there anything in particular that stands out to you that you wanted to touch on?
The thing I enjoyed the most, and I'm being very serious, is the relationships. That is what I was talking. I even talked about. We had 9.5 hours to kill, so talked about a lot of things. And one of the things I talked about, she asked me, "What did you enjoy most about the show?" And I said, honestly, it's the fact that I have so many relationships there. Now, obviously, it was great seeing you guys and Bobby, and we missed Yannick very much, and seeing Josh and seeing Paul and seeing Brandon, not Brandon, but Brad and Cherry and Bill and all the regulars, right? The real tight knit group. But it's so great to be able to walk through the show and go to tables and see guys like Bobby's good friend Wayne. I see him once a year. He's always great. He's awesome. They get to see Steve, right? I don't get to talk to Steve every day. I get to go over there and it's like, it's like a long lost friend. It's like we just saw each other, 2 weeks ago. And those, that's just some of them. There's so many others that we might not even know each other's names, but we remember each other from last year, the previous year, the last 4 years. And they're happy to see each other, big handshakes. How you doing? How's this? And that's what I really, really enjoy about going up there. I mean, obviously I got a desk full of stuff that I'm thrilled about, but getting a chance to reconnect with people that I don't talk to all the time. I mean, we're with Amanda the whole time, right? But I talk to Amanda all the time, right? You talk to you guys all the time, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's great to be able to be in the same room with you guys, but it's those, the further out relationships. You guys are here. It's getting a chance to see these people that I haven't seen in a while, or even some of these people. And that's the highlight for me. It's great. You know, my friends who work in the autograph area, you know, that are gracious enough to have me back there for, you know, Saturday and Sunday every year. You know, I don't keep in touch with them year round. A week or two before the expo, I'm like, hey guys, how's things? How you been? I'm heading up. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Oh man, great. I can't wait to see you. Have a safe ride up. You know, let me know when you get here. And again, it's like I talked to him 2 weeks ago, but it's been a year. So that's truly what I enjoy the most is the relationships, the connections, running into people. It's the best. You know, whether it be Mark over at Classic or Andre over at Premium. I mean, I could just go on and on and on with names and people that, you know, I only see once a year. But it's they're happy to see me. I'm happy to see them. Hey, how, you know, it's the best. It's great. So that's my favorite part about going, really.
Sure.
Because let's face it, you can buy all these cards on eBay tomorrow. Right? So
some of them you can. Some of them you can.
Yeah, but you get my point. You get my point.
Yeah. So Crap Game here has a question. So Eric, did Carlos go get Medina when he signed the All-Star 27 jersey? Carlos was having his lunch.
No, we so I mean, truthfully, I mean, obviously, you know, especially with a promotion that I don't have the type of connection with, I can't just bring anybody back there. I had to kind of make sure I had a key to the door to get back there in that section. So I couldn't invite him back. If it was one of the other promotions, I would have gladly taken him back.
And also Carlos was not in the building.
What? Say that again?
And also Carlos was not in the building. Literally at the time that was happening. I literally wasn't there.
Well, there you go. But you know, if it was possible, you know, if it was one of the other promoters, I would have tried to set something up, but I didn't have that type of connection. I had to kind of use the connection to get in there myself. But so no, he was not able to meet him this time.
So I have actually gone to an autograph signing where Medina was there.
Yes.
It's fine, but it's one of those things where it's like, but I say it in jest. I kind of have a little bit of fun with this, Brandon. But it's like I don't really care about these players as people. I'm not interested in chatting with you. I just want the autograph.
Well, yeah, he's really is a genuine nice guy.
I've met a lot of nice people. That's awesome.
I kind of made the mention in when I did my video. I don't think there's ever been an autograph guest at a show that I've ever felt the need to try to go and get their autograph. I like when I've gotten autographs from Taylor or Victor, or, you know, those guys, I prefer to get it like, I don't know, like getting to go and see Taylor at the game after the game, and him recognizing me and be willing to sign the jersey that I had or whatever. That's like a bit different than, you know, sitting at a show or whatever. I don't know. It's just something to it.
No, I totally get it. Like I'm not trying to take anything away from it, because there are a lot of folks who that's a great opportunity. It's nice to have a quick FaceTime and a quick back and forth conversation. It's like I said, I had the chance to go to a signing where I was there and I got the stuff signed myself personally. But the reality of it is that we're not friends. This is a transaction. Regardless how it's arranged, at the end of the day, it is a transaction. That Eric goes back there and enjoys talking with these guys, that's great. And we know that's genuine. We, like, jokes aside, we know that's genuine. I don't feel the same way. I'm not actually interested in talking to these people. I've had a chance to talk to Marcel and some of these guys. They're nice guys, but again, we're not friends. He's Marcel Dion.
I like what Marcel does at the show.
Sure,
I think he's smart. Like,
absolutely, yes.
What is he, 6th all time in goals? And, you know,
I think he still is. Yeah, right thereabouts. I think it's about
right. And he's not sitting there, you know, signing an autograph session for an hour or whatever and sharing fees with the show and all this. He is just free and open, like a regular person, like a regular dealer at the show, has his booth set up. He has the guy there helping him or whatever, but he'll sit there and bullshit with you. I mean, I didn't catch
Eric,
the
he's
name.
exactly sixth. Brandon, the hockey savant, got that one. Exactly sixth.
Yeah. See?
Ooh.
Look.
Ooh.
But no, I thought it was funny when he was talking about, and no disrespect to the individual, and we don't have to mention any names. I won't go there because I don't want to throw him out like that. But he was sitting there talking about an individual and said something like he was a great guy, but he was a fucking pain in the ass or something like that. And I was just like, that's awesome, because he's showing his natural self there. He's not, So I really liked, you don't see that at shows. You don't see a Hall of Famer just sitting there is signing, that goalie book. When I asked you about it and like look through it, that was a really nice book for $20 Canadian without it being autographed or anything, let alone getting the book and him signing it, all of that.
Yeah, it's signed twice. When you buy the book, it's already he signed it twice, and then he's like, "Well, do you want me to personalize it? You want me to add anything?"
It's a nice hardback. It looked like an interesting book about the goalies and stuff like that, and I was like, "That's worth it just for the damn book." So yeah,
he gave this to me a couple of years ago. So he stuck this stuff in there, right? So his pictures of him playing, he's got all this written here. Him scoring on I who's that? I think that's not Dryden. I think that's maybe Bunny. But anyway, here's all these down here with all these other goalies. And so he stuck this in there, put a sticker on it, and invented this to make. And now he bought like a truckload of them. And now, so I go around and all the goalies that are in the book, I try to get the goalies to sign them. And I have, I don't know, maybe 10 guys that I've gotten to sign it. It's one of the nicest goalie books you'll ever see. And he just comes up with these inventive ways to market himself. And all he did was stick all this stuff in here, sign it, say, goalies made me famous, right? I think he wrote, "I love goalies. They made me famous." And sells them. I mean, he's constantly coming up with ways to market himself. I mean, that's the product.
His hats, whoever designed his hats, those look really sharp.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 different ones, and he's got even new ones. Every year, he's got different kinds. He doesn't want to sell the same stuff every year. And imagine being able to just sell yourself. All I have to do is sit there and have these different products with my name on it.
And Eric, we know for a fact you know how to sell yourself. We sell you all the time. Thank you for mentioning it.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. He's got tons of different business ventures and just selling himself. And he's doing great.
So I'm going to go through a couple of questions here quickly. Josh says, did you find any lemon cards on the show floor?
Saw everyone I saw, I already had.
All right. Next. Then said Sports Card says, you have 2026 dates yet? Not yet. But right now, usually it's around a certain time frame. Usually it hovers around the same time of year. The spring is usually late April, early May, give or take around that time period. So it'll vary every year. It depends on when Menzie can get the book, the venue exactly. We'll know soon. Like usually he'll give us a fair bit of leadway, but it'll be right around late April, early May. That's about where it'll be. And the fall will hover around the first or second week of November. That's generally speaking where it goes. It's usually somewhere around Remembrance Day. So whenever November 11th is on the calendar, it'll usually be around that week, or just be, this year it's just before. Usually it's the same week. It just depends on the year. Just time.
Find out when the Hall of Fame is having their introductions. Hall of Fame weekend is. It's that weekend.
Yeah.
Because the players, a lot of the players like Duncan Keith, who's going in, is at the show. So they get guys who are in town that are either being elected in, or former players that are in town for the ceremonies to support someone or whatever. And that's when they bring them in because they're already in town. So whenever the Hall of Fame weekend is, that's when the show is.
Bobbles said, Eric gave a touching speech, just like we rehearsed a few minutes before the start of the stream. Facts, Bob.
Did I do good? Good. All right.
Stephen here says, hey, Eric, do you only come up once a year or do you both shows?
Just a November guy.
CC says, good evening, gents. Good evening. Disappointed that I didn't bump into any of you over the weekend. You got to look out for us. We're around. Just finished watching Bobbles' video. Nice job. Hope to see you back in the future. Excellent.
Oh, he's coming back.
Now we know some of the secret locations for things. Burrell says, I've met many stars in my time, and just shaking their hand is better than getting an autograph.
Yeah, sometimes it is. And talking to them. I mean, I talked to a bunch of guys Saturday and Sunday, and some of the guys I didn't even get a picture with, which is kind of another little collection that I have going. Didn't get their autograph. I talked to Esa Tikkanen for a while. I didn't, get anything with him. I know Brad Park. I've had interactions with him before. I had dinner with him and his entire family, his wife, his daughter, son-in-law, the grandkids. I had dinner with all of them one night. So I went and talked to him and caught up with him. I didn't say, hey, can I get a picture? Or can you sign this for me? Who else? There was a few others that I didn't. Devon White. I worked with Devon White, the baseball player. I didn't get a picture or any autographs from him. Just hanging out and talking to him was good enough. Bill Ranford. We got a great Bill Ranford story. I don't know if we should save that to Friday, but
I think we'll throw it in on Friday. If Paul's around, we'll throw it in because I think he'll appreciate it. It's the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I want him in the chat when I tell the Bill Ranford story. But I was talking to Bill Ranford for quite a while. I've already known Bill. I've already got pictures with Bill. I have tons of his autographs. I didn't do it. I didn't ask for any of that. But I did work with Willie O'Ree many times. I'm friendly with Willie and the person that assists him. And I don't care. I will get a picture with Willie and autographs from Willie every single time I'm around him. When you don't get to be with a true legend very often, and when you have the opportunity, you enjoy it.
Oh, I didn't realize you hung out with Joe Thornton. Finally, about damn time. Good.
No,
I'm glad to hear it.
No.
Burrell says, Brandon, once you go vintage, you never go back. That's literally not true.
Yes, it is.
Eric, I was collecting vintage when I was 13, and I collect modern all the time.
No, you're wrong.
Do you want me to show you all the modern shit I got? Because I got a lot more than I got vintage. Way more.
You've had lots of concussions. You just forget.
I am a superior being. I am not limited by this way.
No,
Moving on.
You're just forgetting.
Mm-hmm. Sucks. Anyway, moving on. A good idea with the gold book. Yes. Facts.
Oh, yeah.
Bubbles says, imagining myself in Vegas selling myself. Eric imagines it all the time. All the time. There. Evening all. Paul. Good evening. Evening all. And Eric.
Oh,
that's right.
See, there he is. All right.
Paul is here.
But
hold on. Let me finish reading the comments.
We'll do it on Friday.
We'll save it for Friday. So there are a couple of stories we will save for Friday. We'll definitely talk through a couple of good ones here tonight.
Yeah.
But we'll save a few. We'll save a few for Friday. Plus, we have visual aids. We'll
do the Bill Ranford story on Friday.
Yeah. So Laurie is saying, any former St. Louis Blues at the show? I feel like their sheer numbers, there has to be. I'd have to look at that list again, but I'm confident there totally has to be.
Would you like me to tell you my Gary Unger story?
Gary Unger would qualify as one. Yeah, that would definitely be one for sure. Any other ones, though? Like Gary Unger, you're right. But anybody else?
St. Louis. I think, no. Tons of Oilers. A couple of Bruins. Patrice Bergeron.
Plenty of Leafs, of course. Plenty of Leafs, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Current Leafs. Yeah.
A ton of them.
The 31st pick overall for the Leafs. I forget his name, but I worked with him. I didn't.
Yeah, they had Bill Barber, who's obviously Flyers. There's a big association there.
Well, what a great guy he is. Oh my God. I enjoyed spending time with him. He's awesome. No, I think Gary Unger was the only Blue. And very nice guy. And I got a great fun story that not only is a fun story. I got a great unbelievable picture, and it also ties into Silly Card of the Week.
All right. Let's I'll finish reading, but thank you for the question. It's a good question because oftentimes there is usually a couple of examples, but we definitely have one here. Bobbles says maybe Eric should self-publish a short book on his interactions with all these sports guys. Maybe. Let's see here. Satfiend says here, us other people had a bunch of problems with parking. Am I the only one? No, there's definitely a lot of problems. There, I definitely heard from a lot of folks. I took Ubers from the hotel, although, hold on, we'll do it for first time tonight. To be fair.
How's that?
That's a different approach. That was a different attempt. I can appreciate a different try. Yeah. I usually waited until a little bit after the opening of it. When it's at its busiest is right when people are starting to get set up, trying to get in there early. The parking lot is a disaster at Expo. Like that building and the surrounding parking area. And they closed off certain sections at certain points, seemingly at random. It was weird. Like they were doing some weird stuff and it was actually making traffic very clunky. And there's really only 2 entrances. Like it's kind of miserable trying to... Now on the opposite side, there's more entrances. But like on the main road, there's really 2 and it can create this jam up. It's very weird. Very strange. So you're not the only one. I can tell you that definitively. I didn't have too much trouble with it, but definitely not the only one. Good evening, Will. Gary Unger, yes. Thank you, Bobby. Give the video a like. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hit the like button. Eric pays for it. Will says, I'm selling some cards this week and some of you idiots bid on them. Yes. Facts. I got Eric just for that purpose. Defensive shilling.
Defensive shilling.
Defensive.
Yes. That's okay.
Defensive.
Totally okay.
Yep. Sadfiend says, I found a younger vendor with a huge overcharge on vintage. Victor, good evening. You guys have to be exhausted. That's not too bad. I think, Brandon, I think you got the fact you were in a day earlier, I think probably helped out a little bit. Eric literally just got back. We just got him off the boat.
Yeah. We got in at 11 last night because we did stop in Niagara for a couple hours. But yeah, me and her both got up and worked today. So, and then went out for my daughter's birthday. So yeah, not too bad. I'm not as old as y'all say I am. Unfortunately, you
I am.
Don't want to crush dreams, but
I am. I'm exhausted. I just drove 9.5 hours through a snowstorm and then a major rainstorm. I am freaking exhausted.
So that must have been what happened. Like, I don't know what happened. At some point, like, there was snow, and then suddenly, I don't know, maybe Eric left, and all of a sudden it's like, oh.
It followed me. If you were in a storm,
we put in the fans and just push it back, follow that guy. We don't want to deal with this shit.
We were joking about it because
it was snowing pretty good yesterday too.
It was, yeah. So Brandon, part of the reason I calculated things, I did the extra day because I saw how the weather was turning, but also I felt like it would be more appropriate and convenient. But I knew that if I waited closer to checkout time, it was still like there was still snow on the ground and stuff, but it wasn't bad. Like it actually, by the time we were done, it was like the driving back and forth. I literally went with my dad and I helped him refill the gas tank at Costco, and then we went and go eat at McDonald's. So it wasn't bad anymore. It was still, obviously the snow was still on the ground, but it wasn't crazy at that point. It's Canadian November. It's standard.
It was beautiful on Tuesday at the falls, like t-shirt weather. And then yesterday it was 30, 30 and freaking snowing like crazy.
Brandon, you just experienced within those days the proper gamut of this. So this is why I say bring layers. Because then you're covered both ways. You're covered both ways. But you
seem like I was just in a hoodie the whole time. Because that's like even here when it gets cold, I'm normally good in just a hoodie. I don't have to layer up that much.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the worst part was the wind. When the wind kicked up, that was a little rough. But
over where the airport is, over the airport is, it gets ridiculous with the wind. It's stupid.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So Noah here saying, I got the title for Eric's book, Off the Ice, Untold Stories of Hockey Veterans by Eric.
Yeah.
I like it. I enjoyed chapter 1 where he talks to Peter Forsberg. So then I named my mop Molly. And it's like, why is he talking about a mop? Because he's not Peter Forsberg.
You're just mad that I chose him over you and I showed up late for dinner.
I will never be mad when you hang out with the janitor down on his luck. Somebody needs to help this man, otherwise his best friend is a mop. And Eric, you were there for him, and I'm proud of you.
So Funny response to that comment. The short answer is hell no. I didn't win anything. I did, however. I took out some Canadian cash from the ATM. Told my wife, "Hey, let's go into the casino and just have a little bit of fun." It was literally just a little bit. Those machines eat your 20s quicker than anything I've ever seen, and it confirmed my lack of degenerate gambling because I didn't even spend everything I took out of the ATM. I told her, I was like, this is stupid. Let's go. This isn't fun. And we left. So, nope, didn't win anything.
There's a reason why casinos look as beautiful as they do.
It was like, I've been to the casino before, here in the States, but I normally played poker or blackjack or whatever. And I was like, oh, we'll play slots for a little bit, 200 Canadian should last us a little while.
No, God, no.
Shit.
God, no.
Nope.
God, no.
I think I had 60 left, and I was like, all right, this is stupid. So we left.
Not so much. Not so much. This is actually a good point, a good comment. I'll touch on this as a story I'll add here as well. Trade night entrance was also confusing at the same time as card show and car show were at the same entrance, same time. So let me explain this.
Yeah.
I actually decided. So the way that day worked is that the trade night was happening the same night. I believe it was Saturday night, and the trade night was happening the same night that I was actually going to go to dinner with Brad, Sherry, and the AMG crew. So I usually try to make sure. So basically what I do is I try to get with certain groups and I try to make sure that I can have dinner with these different groups at different times. Obviously there is overlap because a lot of these people also know each other. So no issue there, but I try to make sure. I go hang out with, Steve and that group at least one of the nights. And then I wanted to make sure I talked with Brad ahead of time. And I said, hey, I definitely want to go spend an evening hang out with you guys and have a great dinner. And then, in between we make sure. And then Brandon and, Mrs. Bobbles were there for the first time. So we wanted to make sure we had a dinner where we all got a chance to hang out. And Amanda was being evasive for a good chunk of the time. And she ditched us for chop. So, but we did make sure that we did have dinner on the Sunday. So we did make sure that we at least had that. And we got to open a couple of boxes of cards. We'll touch on that in a minute. That was kind of and Eric got a couple of cards out of that. Amanda got a couple of cards out of that. And actually decent pulls for 2 random boxes. Actually not bad. Decent pulls. So this trade night thing though. So Saturday night is the trade night. And what happens is the booking. So I'm checking in with Sherry just to ask a question. And when Sherry mentioned that they had booked it and they said 8:30. And I said, okay, perfect. The show that night ends at 6. So I figure, okay, I got enough time to be able to pop into the trade night for a little bit and go in next to go in for a little while and then leave, get back to the hotel in time to be able to then still go over to dinner, which is exactly the way it played out. I did hang out for a little while. It was good, had fun. But I will say this statement here, this comment is 100% right. Because what happened is the show was actually in hall 3 and 2 were the entrances that you were going to use. The actual trade night was over in hall 5, but there was no interconnecting thing inside the hall. So you actually had to go outside, go around the building. And then there was this big line outside. And by this point, by Saturday, the weather's turned a little bit. It's starting to get cooler. So it's definitely getting cooler out there. And you see this long line and then you're like, okay, so we kind of get in this line, but then this guy comes in. It's like, are you guys going for the card trade night? And they're like, yeah. I go, come with me. There was a import car show right beside the trade night. So there's the import car the cars, and then there's the cards.
Bay 45 had about 4 or 5 really nice BMWs parked in it.
Yeah. So the point is that they're right beside each other. And now it was weird having to go around, but it was also, if you weren't paying attention, you could have been stuck in that line, gotten all the way to the front of the line and go, hey, you want to see some nice cards? It's like, nope, you can see some cars though. What? No.
Well, that would just suck. And it was cold. It was
chilly. It was chilly by that point. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, bottom line, we were able to get to the trade night proper. They had like a charity thing they're taking the money for, so that's fine. No problem. It was like $5. It wasn't a big deal. I did hang out with Lapper and some of friends there. Had a good chat. I saw Simon 466. We joined the table. We had a nice chat. I actually bought a card off the table. Well, actually, I bought a couple of cards off the table. I bought one from Lapper and one from the gentleman just beside without having to leave the table. I did look around a little bit just to see. And it was all right. I found a couple of cards that were good for my collection, so no complaint there. And then I headed out of there, was able to go meet up with Sherry, Brad, and the rest of the team to have dinner. So it was a good night. So overall, very good. No complaints there. The timing worked out beautifully. The dinner reservation gave me enough time to be able to do this and then take off and then be able to still have dinner with everybody and participate in that. So Will says, age is fun. Took the little ones for a long weekend in San Diego. Long drive home. Days later, still recuperating. Indeed.
I can't imagine driving as long as I did today and have a little one or little ones at the same, trying to deal with that at the same time. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yep. Stephanie says, only bet the tries and dailies. Bobbles says, rather go to an arcade than a casino. Fair. That's fair. Valid. I was at the so-called Chicago show, a long way from Chicago. Yeah, we got that branding issue here. Whatever it says, Montreal Expo, not Montreal. Toronto Expo, not Toronto. Edmonton Expo, not Edmonton.
I learned that last year.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I also, speaking of the Sherry Brad dinner thing, I learned that if you go to look up like where something is located and it says Toronto, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually in Toronto.
Well, no, technically it was in Toronto, but it's very nebulous. It's like this little weird thing because there's Mississauga, there's Etobicoke, and there's Toronto. And all three are possible within a certain range of each other. They're all technically correct, but it's like if you said on that side of the street, it's Mississauga. If you're on that side of the street, it's Etobicoke. If you're on that side of the street, it's Toronto.
Like I told you, that's why we just went down to the hotel thing because I was like, damn, it's already 6:30 or whatever.
Nope,
when you
it's just down the street.
That.
Just up the street.
And I was
just
like,
up the street.
Fuck, they're going into Toronto? Nah,
nope.
I'm not going there. That plus
just
the
up the street.
Bruins
just
and
up
the Leafs were playing. I was like, no, I'm not going into
just up the street. Just up the street.
Answer me this though.
Riddle me this.
Yes, riddle me this. We'll save this story for Friday also. When I was, what's the word we want to use?
Sane.
No. When I was not held up, I was held up by the police on Thursday night. Okay, when the police confiscated my vehicle, right? So that's what we call a tease in the business, right? And we'll get into this on Friday. When the police confiscated my vehicle and wouldn't let me leave the premises on Thursday, why was it? You know where I was. Why was the Toronto police there and not the Mississauga police?
Sorry, whereabouts were you at the time?
Arizona's.
Oh, at Arizona's? So you're talking about the Ontario Provincial Police, the OPP.
It said Toronto on the door. I can read.
Yeah, because I'm going to repeat myself. The lines between, I'm not even kidding you. The border, right? Part of the reason why this is such an awkward location is that you're at the edge of Mississauga. There is literally a line that is, if you're on this side of the street, you're in Mississauga. If you're on that side of the street, you're in Toronto. I'm not joking. If you're on this side of the street, you're in Mississauga. If you're on that side of the street, you're in Etobicoke. It's separate. And if you're in this side of the street, and right here, Sadfield's also saying, and Vaughan. Like there's multiple little lines. Literally, it's like that neighborhood, Toronto. That neighborhood, Mississauga.
I was surprised, when I was being detained, that the police car said Toronto.
They're right on the line, man.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you're just over the line, they'll take you just the same as the other guys. They're not going to worry about jurisdiction. You're still within city limits, buddy.
Well, we will discuss my detainment by the Toronto police on Friday.
Eric sounds to me like he would rather have been the Mounties. He would have been more excited.
Only if they were singing.
Well, he said Border went through all of his crap.
The border. Oh my God, we can talk about that on Friday too. I was not happy.
Are you noticing a theme, Brandon? It's literally all the law enforcement are looking at him like that guy.
I'm kind of starting to feel that way.
Maybe Marcel did leave some hints. Take him out. Take the shot. Take the shot.
He has a lot of power up there, so
Just saying.
Especially in Niagara, he has a lot of power in Niagara, so I could see that he set me up. I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, Victor here says Eric doing post-show duties, new sleeves and top loaders and everything. Love it. My favorite part. There you go, Victor.
Cleaning it all up.
Yep. Bobbles says, was this the real police or the dance troupe that performs at parties? At this point, both have jurisdiction to pull over Eric. Doesn't matter.
I'm not sure, but I was detained by the Toronto Police Department. That is what the cruisers, now that's plural, folks, cruisers said on the side of the door.
You read what Josh says here? Read this.
Common denominator is Eric, yes.
I'm just saying.
I am putting, even though, first of all, I know it's Monday, we're 5% more mature, but I just feel like it's appropriate. Shut up, Josh. All right, we got that in. I am putting the cards, I'm cleaning up the cards and putting them in different things that Josh gave me. Josh was generous beyond belief and got me all of these Reggie lemons and printing plates and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Look at how beautiful it's magnificent.
So, Josh, again, thank you very much for your generosity. Appreciate it. So they're all looking real nice. I had to take all the painter's tape off and all that, and now they're just looking nice and sweet. So right into the collection they go. Thanks, buddy. And shut up, Josh.
There you go. All right, so I'm mostly caught up on the comments. I'll make sure to read this one. I didn't miss it. I just wanted to make sure I read through the other ones because we had a bunch of stuff here. Hockey 99 says, Carlos, did you pull a sticky note and go up to Jeremy like he's your best friend? Great question. No.
I did almost have Carlos, though.
He did not. Yeah, that would have been funny as all hell.
Because there was a card that I found that he had me purchase, and I remember him discussing a certain particular type of card, and I found a Medano of that type that I snapped a picture of, did not tell him where it was. And unfortunately, he said he already had it, but he did compliment the patches in it. And then I was like, damn, I almost had you.
Almost had him, man. I was all in on that one.
The thing is, you didn't almost have it. Let's be clear about this. I have purchased cards that were at Jeremy's table. As long as I don't have to sully my hands, I don't care.
Well, so I'm going to admit something. I did not ask price. Actually, he was talking to some other guy that whoever was working his table with him had something going on, and Jeremy was giving him, I don't know, telling him what he should do or whatever. I don't know. I almost asked the price of a coaster. Almost.
Oh boy.
This close. And then I just couldn't do it.
Scandalous.
It was a Ottinger Star Rubies.
Scandalous.
So a card I would have been interested in, but
what grade did the coaster?
I would have needed the discount for cracking the slab and all that.
What grade was the coaster?
A 9. I don't know if it had the 1,000 point. I didn't pay that close of attention, but
good evening, Philly Joe. Safin says, collected lemon back in the day. Need a rookie? Eric needs all the lemons.
I have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Or 8.
So Brandon though, to be fair, to be on the same page as all this, like at the end of the day, like I said, what I said a second ago is true. There have been cards in his inventory that have been purchased, but at the same time, as long as I don't have to sully my hands. However, what you were doing, and this was also an inside joke, and Eric got to have a taste of this, and I feel now is a good time to share it. What you were attempting to do, what you were making an effort to do, was this.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's been invoked. That was invoked this past weekend on individuals.
Yes, it was.
But it's a really good meme, isn't it, Eric?
I'm gonna text Judas now and make sure Judas got home safe.
See, Brandon, Eric knows, but Eric, you got to admit it's a good meme, and there's going to be a time where you're going to want to use it, and you're going to be glad that I said it to you so you can borrow it and use it at the appropriate moment. It's such a good one. The face, Brandon, the face to go along with it. It's just moi.
I sent Judas a text, and we will find out if Judas made it home.
Could you on your contacts rename them Judas? Because I might on my end. I'm just saying I might do that, and then the next time I send him a text message, it'll say at the top Judas.
That would be something else.
See, Brandon, this is how the hobby relationships are made.
According to Marcel, Eric's got everybody's number, so
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Judas is an hour and a half away. So Judas must have landed and now is making the commute.
What are they pushing the plane?
Yeah. So Judas has landed.
Wow. Okay. I gotta say, how many 1-on-1 cards does basketball have? A lot. A lot. That's the overhype of the Expos over time. So here's the thing. Obviously, we can be biased, but the truth is, National is so corporate at this point. It still has value. I'm not going to discount the National. I'm not interested in going. That's different from telling everybody else they shouldn't. The reality is, I think with how big it's gotten and how corporate it is, it's almost like it's actually more of a pain in the ass than it's worth for a lot of folks. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go. I'm not telling you. I don't care. You go if you want to go. But what I'm saying is with the cost, with all the additional logistics, the issues, all the complications that it can create, and then in the increased cost on top of everything else, you're just sitting there, you're like, this doesn't feel fun. And I know that we've got a question for Brandon here in a second, but I want to say, for me, the expo is still fun. That's why I still go to them. That's why I go to them twice a year, because obviously it's in my backyard. But I wouldn't go if it wasn't enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. And so the reality is that it still has that element of it. It has gotten bigger. The crowds have gotten bigger. This show was very well attended. It did well, I think. We'll find out more specifics down the road here. But it still feels like it's got the elements that I still like about it. So it's still there. And when I go around, I may not always find a ton of things. I always find something. But the opportunity is there to chat with a lot of folks, have some great conversations, have some good times. And then you still got the cards as well. That's why I say this is the first time I even attended the trade night. I wouldn't have even tried to do it if it hadn't worked beautifully, and just the timing was perfect. And it allowed me to do that. And I don't regret it. It worked. I didn't have to spend hours there, but it was still interesting checking out. Obviously, it's a lot of young guys, and they're having fun doing their stuff, trading cards back and forth. And some of them had nice stuff. It's just not necessarily all for me. But I did find, but even then, I found a couple of things for me. So I can't complain at that point, Brandon. Like, I still found a couple of things for myself. I had a table with folks that I knew. We chatted a little bit. It was fine. I used it to have a little fun, kill a little time, and then I went to go have dinner. Win-win. Perfectly fine. So yeah, not for baseball. Yep. Don't forget to hit the like button. Eric's back from Expo, so he doesn't need the money now. Facts, Mike. Facts. So this was the question here for you.
This is still in the air. I did not know you could text from planes now. It's been a long.
You totally can. Well, Eric, you can do so. You can do so when you have several pieces of silver.
I don't think I've been on a plane let me think. Oh yeah, I was on a plane during COVID. How many years ago was that now? Like 6, almost 6. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know you could text and get messages like that on planes now.
To answer this question, simple. Yes, I'm glad I attended. The show, and I think, and I believe I mentioned it in my video, but the show has people believe it's mostly hockey. And after attending it and coming into it with the assumption that it was going to be pretty much all hockey, I can debunk that theory. Hockey is well represented. It is probably the majority of the show, but there was still a lot of basketball. There was football. There was soccer. There was F1. I sent my daughter pictures of F1. There was Lego. There was TCG everywhere. There was a guy selling World War II souvenir things. Just vintage collectible knick-knack things, which is, what Bobby really enjoys. There's all kinds of stuff. And I also want to say, to prove that, I sold everything that I brought with me. Every card that I brought with me with the intention to sell, I sold. And two things to mention about that. One, only one card was in a PSA slab. Everything else was SGC. The other thing, it was only one hockey card. Everything I brought, one hockey card, everything sold. So it's not just hockey, it's not only hockey. There is stuff there for everybody. Um, it it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I regret is still being new to hockey and trying to be so niched into what I like in my mind I was looking for. I was hoping to go, you know, scour through value boxes and stuff, and that was actually the bad play. Um, I should have put more time into the display cases. And in fact, one of the cards that I did have on my mind to find, I looked all day, and then Carlos actually, I told him, hey, I've been looking for one, and he wound up finding one. Funny enough, after I bought one, I seen like 6 more throughout the show, but throughout the several hours I was looking, I didn't see one anywhere. So next time, I definitely want to go in with more of a plan. This time, I kind of went in open-minded and wanted to just see what it was like. Now that I know what it's like, I can have a better plan and approach it differently. So,
Yep, that's fair. Thank you for that. Bobbles says, Labubu's never stab each other in the back. It's true. It's true. So, good evening, Kathy. We'll get back to Eric once he gets a chance, but thank you for joining us, as always. Hockey was never on baseball's level with many factors and still is not. Better, yes. Sure. Let's see. Scrolling through. I just want to make sure. I know you guys are chatting with each other. Let's see. Habs Bruins this Saturday, followed by Montreal Card Show Sunday. Can't go wrong with that this weekend. True. Nice. Top Hockey 99 picked up baseball because of hits. Sure. Philly Joe says, really like your recap, Bobbles. Nice. Nice. Lock Director, good evening, Phil. Great meeting you boys at this expo. Catch you in the next one, Bobbles. Yes, yes. Very nice.
I met him. He was quickly on his, he was on a mission to go do something when we were standing there at the corner of the one aisle, and you bumped back into him.
Yeah. There is that. So
he was on a mission.
Now's actually a good. I'll use this as a little chapter to talk about the Gong Show, the Hockey Card Gong Show, and the guys. So it's funny. So Phil obviously is the most elusive of the bunch. Like he's jetting around all around place. So
he was on a mission.
Yeah, good meeting Phil, but it was brief. It was a brief conversation. I will say I had a little more time to talk with Josh. And predominantly, I did get a chance to talk with Louis, so Bob Louis as well. I actually walked around some of the aisles with Louis as well. We got a chance to chat a little bit as he was looking for stuff. I was looking at some stuff. For the most part, like there were sections of the show where I was just looking around, just wanted to see a couple of things, and that was really the fun part for me. And I see the comments a little ahead, so I'm going to move ahead a little bit real quick. Hang on. Eric driving that 79 VW bus. Got a toolbox? Maybe. Bobbles, you've been both the Expo and the National. If you could only do one show, which would you prefer and why? That's an interesting question, CC.
A lot of people would disagree, but I actually liked the size of the Expo. I also liked that it was well dispersed. It was interesting. If you're like vintage baseball, you might have a little bit more difficulty. I actually mentioned this to Carlos, and I had a discussion with Brad one morning before things were getting crazy, and it was interesting that here we see so many 52 tops mantles at shows. We see Gaudy Ruths all the time at shows. Up there, I did not really see them. I seen a couple of the mantles. I don't remember seeing any of the Ruths, so that was kind of a difference in terms. There was vintage baseball, but it wasn't, I guess it wasn't the same ratio. And so I liked how the Expo is a nice size. You're not over, like it's not too much. You can still, each day take in portions of it. Whereas the National is so much that I don't think you ever look at everybody's table to begin with.
How could you? You don't have that kind of time. That's insane.
Yeah, and as Carlos mentioned, the Nationals also gotten so corporatized, and I talked about it when I went to the National before. I didn't like the corporate area, like especially with it being right dead center of the show, like it was. I didn't like that. The other thing that I will say that was very nice with the Expo versus the National, there wasn't the circus area with, there was people doing breaks and stuff like that. There was a small whatnot booth, but it wasn't this clown show circus breaker area where there's all the hooping and hollering and games and all this other stuff. So
and we had breakers who had booths, but it was very basic. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it wasn't over, eccentric or whatever. But yeah, I really think that was a great show. I told the guys, it's like, it's below the National, obviously. It's a step above Chantilly, but it reminds me more of Chantilly, except for it's a little bit bigger and it has more hockey presence in it. And I've always loved the Chantilly show, so that's the best way to compare it, I guess.
Yep. So here, Lou, is that Phil who? Valid question. This Slash Wine, I believe that's Sylvan. Miss you this expo. Catch you next time. I'm around. By all means, feel free to reach out. I think I followed you on Instagram, so feel free to reach out. Louis says, good to see and hang with you guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really, no, in all seriousness, I really, really enjoyed getting to know, Louis and Josh. Great guys. Really just down to earth, good guys. I didn't get a chance to talk to Phil very much. It was kind of like a hello, good to see you, shake your hand, and he was off like the Roadrunner, just couldn't catch him. So, but spent a good amount of time talking to both those guys, and I really enjoyed it, and it was very nice to meet you guys and get to know you. So, thanks for spending the time.
For sure. And I already talked to Louis. We were talking about it. At some point, I'm going to reach out. We'll go back and forth, and I would love to. And I'm probably going to try to figure out. We'll make scheduling work. I'll probably have a conversation with him where we'll talk a little shop. We'll talk about some of the other related stuff. I got a chance to talk to Josh already at some length, which is good, about the repack and everything. And by the way, the repack thing they did at AMG, it sold out. So the repack they did there. So that means the likelihood is I would be very surprised if there wasn't another one down the road. Just wild guess. Again, that's an educated guess, let's say.
I think after I was done listening to Brandon's video, I started listening to their recap video, and I believe they said it's going to be out before Christmas.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yep. So
but you have to give the gift to Robertson.
Yeah, there you go.
So, maybe it's an all Robertson repack. Maybe that's what it is.
So I think they announced it. I believe they said mid-December.
Josh is saying that as well. Yeah. I thought I caught that as well, but I was listening while we were in the show floor. But yes, I think that might be right in the post Expo show that's included in there. So Noah here is saying that Toronto will become the national if it continues to grow. First of all, it's not in Toronto, but I get your point. Menzie would like to have it, but look, Fanatics doesn't love us. So it's one of those things where, from a business standpoint, I would love to see. It would have been nice. I would love to have seen back in the day when they had the licenses. I would like to have seen Panini be around. I would like to have Fanatics around just because they have so many licenses. It would be nice, but it's one of those things where it feels like it's just doesn't seem to be happening. So everybody always worries about this. If it continues to grow, it has been growing. It's been growing for many years. It's the market just is underserved. Back in the 90s, here's the thing. Back in the 90s, we had all the manufacturers. We had Topps. We had Leaf. We had Pinnacle. We had Pacific. We had them. And they came and they brought sample cards and they had promos and they had all kinds of, I know because I was there. Literally, I was there. So, and I was getting these promo cards and, they were doing box breaks at the booth and you could win. And Pacific had like the crimper and you could get, the special show stamp on every one of these cards. It was all part of it. So it was possible to do all these things. All these years later, even though we have a much bigger show than it was back then. Brandon, we can't. Panini doesn't even want to look at us. And now they have no licenses, so even who cares at this point? Like, y'all do you at this stage. But yeah, even Fanatics would be the one that has all the licenses, and it's just, okay, great. So yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like it's going to keep growing from the perspective of there's a lot of things they can still do with what they have. The corporate side of it will grow, but I don't think it's going to get to that stage. I think the National has got its own thing going on with the way they've decided to approach that. Like Brandon was giving you the contrast. Whatnot was here. The size of the Whatnot booth is a tiny, tiny little fractional scale. Like you could have walked by it and barely noticed it. Yeah. At the National, you could not walk by and barely notice it.
Right. Yeah.
That's impossible.
It's I hate to use the word because I know the cool kids use
the cool kids?
But I'm going to use a cool kid phrase.
Okay.
Well, the expo is a completely different vibe. It's a completely different vibe than the National. Safin actually makes a comment down, and it was something I was not necessarily in that particular sense, but he said people had a better smell than Chicago. And it wasn't just the smell. Even on Saturday, when it was packed, like it was really, busy in the show, nobody was being an asshole in there. Like everybody, the whole Solvay thing, that's true. Like people were actually courteous. If you bumped into somebody, or they bumped into you, they would apologize, vice versa. Like it was much more laid back. It was enjoyable. It was like, that's the best word I can say to explain is it's a different vibe. So
look at you. Good evening, Baz. People had better smell than Chicago. Geoff Wilson stopped coming. What? Eric is like his most devoted disciple. Why, Eric? Why does he not love us?
Well, that was another thing. There wasn't many people like at all, even GoPros or anything. There was not many people around filming.
Oh, that little, and I'm not bad mouthing him. It's just it's not,
Eric's bad mouthing him so hard right now. Go on.
Oh, but that little kid with him and his dad going around, they were everywhere, videotaping, doing interviews, doing, I forget the kid's name, but
Eric, don't bury the lead. I don't want to lose focus on this.
Okay, well, it's nothing like the camera crews. Most of your other shows.
No, it's a kid. We had Mojo, we had King of the Cards, we had a few. We had a few folks that are on YouTube. But Eric, don't bury the lead. I need to know, why has Geoff forsaken us? As his most devoted disciple, only you would know.
He is the GOAT, and I think we need to take a look at why he isn't coming up to Canada. What did
disrespect?
We didn't respect him enough. We didn't kiss the ring.
Do you feel, Eric, that we could maybe enhance our offering if we defensively shielded?
We
could defensively shield our numbers.
That might work.
Hey, Brandon, the National gets like what, 100, 125, 130,000, 40,000 people. What if we defensively shielded out? We got 47 million people.
Yeah, who would know? Who would know?
Yeah, like who's actually counting?
There wasn't no turnstile that was counting. Hell,
checking?
We were all coming in through different doors.
Who's checking? Honestly,
I mean, hell, on Sunday I went through one door and then I went to leave out the same door, and the guy said, "No, you have to go to the other side of the building to leave." And I'm like, "What the hell? I came in that door."
Yep. So the press will appreciate that. Yeah, Eric on the bottom, Bostonian that forgot his khakis, maybe. Is the expo the boutique version of the National? Yes, we have boutiqued it.
I did inject some boutique slabs into the expo booths.
You did? Yes. Josh here. So yes, good job, Josh. Dan says Carlos Giant Killer doesn't need kudos. Yes, we've got the video with Dan's Vintage Baseball. It has received rave reviews. In some avenues, by the way, this is not a joke, this is true. In some avenues, surprising avenues, I'll discuss more on Friday. Effusive praise. Effusive. I'll discuss more on Friday. I want to save some for Friday, Eric. We got some good material for Friday. I want to save some material for Friday. We'll get there. I promise. We'll get there.
I almost had to call Dan when I was being detained by the by the multiple cruises of the Toronto Police Department. I was like, I got to call my lawyer.
Yeah, and could you imagine though if you had called him and it'd be like, "Hi Dan, I got this issue, whatever." It's like, yeah, put me on the phone with him, and it's like, "Yes, what do you want to say about this?" It's like, "Yeah, fuck that guy." Boom. I don't think it would have helped you, but it would have been some words. At least he would have given some words.
Yeah.
You could also sell Eric in person. Yes. The expo is more real. I think we've got a good balance. Like, so jokes aside, we were talking about this. I like what Brandon's saying is true. I think it's become a bigger show than it was back in the day. It is a much bigger show than it was back in the day. And they've steadily expanded, even from the time that Eric has been participating in it. It has steadily grown every single year. You can see the increases. But it's not so out of control that it's like, no, it's at a level, yeah, there's more participation. There's more people out there. There's more things going on. Saturday was very busy. The Thursday wasn't crazy, but it was busier than previous Thursdays. The Thursday has only been a couple of years now. They've been doing those. The Friday was busier than previous Fridays. The Saturday was very busy. You can tell. And even the Sunday was still fairly solid. Again, we're comparing to other Sundays. We're not comparing to the other days of the week. So it meant that business was brisk for a lot of different dealers. They were able to do pretty brisk business, which is all you're asking for. Like, if you're the dealers that you're setting up and you're paying for these booths, you want business to be brisk. We had the foot traffic. We had some brisk business. Money was changing hands in that room.
Every single person, every dealer that I spoke to, and I spoke to a lot, and asked them how things were going. People I knew and people I didn't know, just in conversation, how's the show going for you? Every one of them said, great.
That's the impression I got. The dealers seem to be pretty pleased. It felt pretty good.
Thursday I've ever had. It's the best Friday I've ever had. Everything's great. I mean, it's great. I can't, guy came and bought this whole case. I had this whole case is empty. I mean, everyone was saying that I spoke to, and again, I asked the question to a lot of people. Everyone was happy with how the direction things were going for them. They were all happy.
Yep. Well, and Brandon, that's all you can ask for. Like, if you're running the show and the dealers seem to be pretty happy with it, well, that probably means you're going to have repeat dealers, repeat business. And if the clientele is finding, there were cool cards on the table. There were cool cards available. Some were not priced right, but others were. And the ones that were selling. So it's like shocking.
I made a mistake.
You did.
Procrastinating. I did make a mistake.
Son of a bitch.
What?
Yeah, you did, you son of a bitch.
I did.
Yeah.
My wife let me know I did.
Yep.
We all let you know you did.
Yeah, I did. I did.
We're all making you know.
Yeah. But I will say the stuff that I did buy, dealers like Steve, I mean, you told me, what was that, Friday? You told me Friday when I was looking at some things. Mm-hmm. You're like, if you're interested, just throw a number out. It can't hurt.
Yeah.
And so I had actually went back to the hotel, and I was looking at some things, and I got a number in my head, and I figured, all right, I'm gonna just throw the number out. Worst he can say is no.
Yeah.
He didn't even hesitate. He was perfectly happy with the number. Another guy that watches, I don't know if he said he watches the podcast, or there was actually people that were aware of me and my channel as well. But he had a card I wanted, and I went back and I was like, hey, could you possibly do this? And no hesitation, shook my hand and, deal. So even if prices weren't where you wanted to be, most of them were pretty open to like getting the deal done. So that was good to see as well.
Yeah. So I can't speak for a lot of those other ones, but I've known Steve a long time, and he is very much an advocate of the long game. He's not worried about squeezing every dime out of every individual deal. He would much rather be like, I'll give you a deal that you're happy with, that hopefully you're comfortable with. Yeah. And then the next time you come back to the show, you'll come see me.
Yep.
And that's the philosophy.
He's got some awesome stuff.
Yeah. The philosophy though is repeat clientele. Like, the way you do repeat clientele is they should feel good walking away from the table that, hey, I got some cool items and the price was reasonable enough and I'm happy with it. Well, then the next show that I go, I'll go visit the table. I'll come and take a look at what he's got. And that's the idea.
Paul,
it's a long game.
That I was talking about.
Yeah, so that's the one, the Blake down. I suspected that Paul would know that one, but it's a long game. And by the way, that's a more sustainable way of doing a business.
Right.
It's not his main business, but that's a more sustainable way of doing business as opposed to trying to rip everybody off and squeezing every penny every time. Well, then great, you got one deal out of it, but they won't come back.
Yeah, I was actually just like looking because again, for me being first time there, the conversion rate not fully up on, you know, what the hockey market is or what. One of the cards I got was a Miro Heiskanen. I'm not up on what Miro Heiskanen limited logos do. Sure. So I had to research it a bit and see like, all right, where did I want to be on this? And, you know, it wasn't far off of his sticker and the Canadian transition of it all. Mm-hmm. So I just, you know, basically I was like, I want this and I want this. Could you be at this? And he was like, sure. So
yeah. For the most part with it, if you're being reasonable, for the most part, I have never encountered too many people that had too much trouble getting a deal done. It is very doable. Name's making a valid point here. King of Mayo is greater than King of Cards. Mm-hmm. Eric is the King of Mayo. It is true.
I got these from Steve. I got a Neely. I have tons of Cam Neely autos, but none that say Seabass.
Seabass.
So once I saw Seabass, I'm like, it's mine. That is coming home. I got Gordie Howe game use stick with some of the, I think it said Northland. I think that's my guess that's what the letters are. It's
the benchmark ones are good.
So I got that from him, and then I got this. I don't need any more Bobby Orr autos. I don't need any more. I said to myself, I'm not buying anymore, but I am a sucker for canvas cards with autos on them. And I think, and again, just an opinion, canvas is the best card product Upper Deck makes. And autos look unbelievable on them. And I suggest if you are an autograph collector, get canvas cards. Buy as many as you can to have in your closet. Fill the closet with canvas, base, whatever. And when you have an opportunity to get an autograph from a player, get them to sign on the canvas cards. They are freaking amazing. So that is my advice to you. There is not a card out there that looks as good with an autograph on it than UD canvas.
Wow. Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Endorses Bougie Eric.
So this one's, what's this one out of 10? This is 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so Steve took good care of me as always. And I got 3 cards I absolutely love off of his table.
Indeed. Josh here says, Carlotta was singing your praises for you and Dan doing a great job. We'll talk more about it on Friday, but I know what you're saying. Effusive praise. We'll get back to that. Don't worry.
I'm shocked.
Saturday was so busy, I left after 4.5 hours. Yeah, Saturday was very busy.
It was.
Dan says, Chris now loves Carlos. Who doesn't, Dan? Who doesn't? You're not a person. You don't count.
Okay.
Robbie says, all 4 days had a different feel. I agree. I agree with the statement. The crossover from Friday night, it is true. It's not like we'll have timestamps on Friday or anything. We'll have timestamps on Friday. Moving on. I will attend an expo and Carlos is the main stage host. We're all main stages in our own mind.
You have to be, what did they say? A YouTube superstar?
Oh, a superstar. Yeah.
You have to be a YouTube superstar to be on the main stage.
That's right.
Wait, why is it called the main stage? They didn't have any other stages. There was only one stage.
What if
when it's one, it's the main. The main by default.
The only one.
But what if you go on the main stage to do an interview with a Hall of Fame hockey player and he's a dick?
Wow, that's a conversation that I have to leave for a different kind of show, a Gong Shoney show.
Yeah. So
I don't think that's so. For the record, I'm not expecting it. I don't think that story is going to wind up on the show, but I would, if it was me, I would totally tell that story.
They talk.
That'd be worthwhile. That'd be a good story.
I mean, I had a conversation with Josh about it, but and I told him my opinion and some of the things that I've heard over the years from teammates and promoters, and even that day from somebody. And I'm not dropping names about any of it, but the guy's a dick. He's a known dick. So I wanted to make sure Josh knew that it wasn't him. This is a long-standing reputation.
So we'll see. Maybe that story will end up down the road, but I would. Why not? You may as well have some fun with it and participate. But again, you got to make your own choices and decide on that. Not our story to tell, but it would be an interesting story if it was included as part of the chronicle.
And it's so much of a dick that I had a Hall of Fame puck ready to be signed by Sir Dick. And
wow. Do you refer to him by his name, Sir Dick?
Yes, Sir Dick, Sir Richard, and Richard Cranium. And I said, screw him. And they're like, well, maybe. And I'm like, no, screw him. I have no interest in wanting his autograph. I don't want him in my collection. He can go pound sand.
Wow. That's a horrible thing to say about Marcel, but moving on.
Oh.
Setfian says, gentlemen, I almost got 50 years. And like I said, the only thing changes is prices. Can you believe what he said about Marcel, Brandon? That's wild. Anyway, moving on. Hockey Night says, Menzies sounds like the owner of Burbank Sports Cards, a long haul. Menzies done a good job building up the show in solid increments. He's added pieces where it's appropriate, experimented sometimes. I think for the most part, they've done a good job. I've actually been very pleased with a lot of stuff they do. It's not perfect because there's always going to be things you can do better. But I think they've had a good growth plan as the years have gone by so far. Again, every year it's going to be its own beast, but they've done a good job. The last couple of shows I've been very happy, personally. Just speaking as a long-time attendee. Awesome pickup, Eric says name. Absolutely right, Carlos. So you ripped me off. I'm never coming back. Yeah, exactly, Frank. Yeah, it's about sustainability. If a dealer is thinking about ahead, you don't need to rip everybody off for every penny. If you just make a good deal, make some profit, move on, but you get repeat customers. Those repeat customers will make it very profitable for you in the long run. But again, whether you're thinking long-term or short-term, that's up to you. Noah says that's from 08 Eric. That set was legendary. There you go. Phil says amazing ore. Philly Joe likes the ore as well. Heavy emphasis on the closet, calling the FBI. Do what you got to do. Eric's there. Eric Wade, official spokesperson for Upper Deck LLC. Facts.
I just gave my opinion.
Let's see here. That was a walk in a park Saturday compared to most. It wasn't too bad. But it was busy, but it wasn't too crazy. I could get into fistfights with vintage vendors. Some of them are very stubborn. So I agree with that. There are a few that are particularly stubborn. Some of them are particularly noted. I've heard the same thing about a guy when I visited Windsor, Nova Scotia. Okay, interesting. How do you think he's been knighted? Well, Eric has knighted him.
Yeah, Sir Dickhead.
There you go. I love the emoji's name. We'll play. But yes. So yeah, like I said, for the most part, I've been very pleased with the shows the last couple of go-arounds. This was a good show. I want to touch on a few other things. And like I said, Eric, at any time if you need to drop off, just say so. Right now, we're good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a couple things. I've got a couple of visual aids that I want to make sure I do. So since we did touch on the thing with the Hoj and those guys, again, we'll talk more about it on Friday. However, I do want to share the story with you folks. I did share it also on the Friday one, but I'll share it again just so we can cover it. And then I'll combine it with another one as well. After the whole thing that I did with Dan, the episode that we did, I was talking to My Canadian Carts, and in the course of the conversation, he did get a chance to listen to it. Messages me, I believe it was on the Saturday, and on Saturday he says, "Hey, come by my booth. I got something for you." So I shared this already with the guys, but I'll share it with the rest of you if you didn't see it the first time around. So so I went by the booth. I said, "Hey," and we were chatting a little bit, and then he says, "I got something for you that I think would be appropriate." So he gave me this, and I can show it here on this slightly better camera.
Yeah.
So that is the first issue of the Beckett Hockey Magazine.
Sure.
And who is it signed by, Eric?
Dr. Jim Beckett.
Good old Jimbo.
Yep.
Thematically appropriate piece is
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, to tell you how funny it is, I was explaining this story to my parents, to Carlos Sr. I was explaining this to my mom, and my mom is like, Oh, let me know. I can I would want to frame that for you. She thought it was hilarious. She got a kick out of it. My dad got a kick out of it. But she's like, yeah, you should totally frame that. That'd be great. So here it is, thematically appropriate. The first hockey issue, the first, with Patrick Roy on the background as well. But the first hockey issue, signed by old Jimbo himself. The inspiration behind my Dr. Carlos moniker, if you didn't know. But if you didn't know, now you know. So I just thought it was funny. I liked it. I enjoyed. So it is what it is. Jeff here says, I agree with Eric about the canvas cards. Got Eiserman and Kane at the Wings Centennial Fan Fest on canvas cards, and they came out great. Yes. Awesome. And they got good photos as well. They also generally have really good photos, which also enhances the presentation. Phil says, laughing my ass off, Sir Dickhead made a room howl. Atta babes, Eric. Yeah, that's effusive praise. Effusive praise.
Sir Richard Cranium.
Mm-hmm. I see all the way from TikTok. Yes. Eric holding Mac Jones, maybe. The king of defensive shield hitting. Yes.
He is.
His doctorate was in defensive shield hitting. Little did you guys know. Now, if you didn't know, now you know. So that was one. I did share that one on Friday already. Other piece as well. I'll put the little scrolling ticker on tonight because we do have it on there. Usually we'll do it for the podcast. AMG Collectibles, AMGcollectibles.ca, AMG Collectibles YouTube channel. Links in the description, as always. We will be doing the podcast episode as normal. It will probably be later on Wednesday because Tuesday is actually a holiday over there as well, so the store will be closed. So I will probably be recording with them earlier on Wednesday, which means it'll be out later on Wednesday than normal. My plan is still to have it on the same day. That's my intention. My intention is to still have the episode out. We'll talk about it. Now, AMG booth. Obviously, that was kind of the HQ, the centerpiece. The Gong Show guys know about this as well. It was a great place to hang out. But at the same time, also, I talked to Sherry and Brad and a lot of the AMG team. They're great folks. And on Saturday, they had a signing from Ken Reed. Ken Reed is a sportscaster here in Canada from Sportsnet, and then also a multi-time author of different things. Some of the books are related to sports, hockey cards specifically, but relating to stories. Stories is the key to a lot of this. Storytelling is the component. And the most recent book that he's got is the next one, which is talking about scouts and some stories related to them and different players they found, how they found them. There's a lot of different stories related to it. But he was doing an autograph signing specifically, so there is the autograph variant on there. So I was here. So of course I was going to support. I bought a book and quickly chatted with Ken Reed about it. If the opportunity presents itself down the road, I would love to have him on and maybe chat. But I also did say I want some Brad stories because Brad is a good buddy of his. So I wanted to make sure that at some point, if we have the chance, I would love to do that. But this was another item that I would say qualifies as an item that I definitely picked up as part of this show. So I'm looking forward to reading the book. It has been signed and inscribed for me. So that's always nice. A nice little bonus, but it's been good. Like, it's funny because obviously we'll focus on the cards. The cards is a big component of it. But the Medano jerseys is a big part. That was part of the story. That Ken Reed book was a part of the signing at AMG. Obviously, I do the stuff with AMG. So there's a connection there. So I'm happy to support what they were doing. The Gong Show guys were here in the chat. The Gong Show repack sold out. They did well with that. So it's been good. We're always here happy to support what AMG is doing and all the related things to it. Ken Reed is a friend, obviously, of Brad and of AMG by connection and everything else. So it was good. Very nice guy. Had a quick chat with him and got him to sign the book. And that was just another thing that I got at the show, in addition to, obviously, the cards and everything else related to it. So that's another thing. One more thing. Also kind of in the same vein. Obviously, Eric muled some stuff over. So what's going to happen is I'm doing this live with you guys so that I don't have to do too much editing. Tomorrow morning, part 2 of my pickups will come in. And that is a lot of the stuff that came in that box that Eric carted over, because there's a crap ton of stuff in that box. There was a lot. There's some stuff from the Chosen Rosen. This is from Carlos Legato. And yes,
because of your cargo, I had better gas mileage on the way home because I didn't have to lug it. That's how much crap I brought up for you.
It was all worth it, Eric. It was all worth it.
Only gas money.
Let me think. I will send it to you only in Canadian pennies.
No such thing as Canadian pennies. I know that.
Oh, there are. They're not legal tender anymore, but you can have them. And by the way, you have to pay for shipping. So anyway, so Brandon and I are going to work on the details. So this, Brandon, do you want to tell them what this is? So we'll work out the details, but this is also part of obviously the show. So this is indirect. This is a collection thing as well. But do you want to just give them a heads up on what this is? Hey, here's some vintage for the people that like the vintage.
It's a full box of 56 tops, no duplicates. I knew Carlos said that he had been working on the set, and I had a partial set that I had put together that they're not high grade or anything, but they have some nice eye appeal to them, good copies. So I told him I'd bring the box up, and if he wanted to look through it, and I think he figured that the whole box was probably an upgrade from what he was working on, which is what he was looking for. So
yeah. So just to be clear, also just to clarify, like my set's done. But I was looking to upgrade a lot of pieces. The reality was there were enough cards. I built a list and I looked, there were just enough cards that needed an upgrade because at the time I built it, I was literally getting a lot of really low condition cards just kind of to fill it out. So when I'm looking through it, I'm like, you know what? It was funny because Brandon and I talked about it on and off a couple of different days. And at the end, I was just sitting there like, okay, look, I'm probably just going to grab a whole stack of these rather than try to figure it out because literally I don't have time. Between days of the show and then obviously we go have dinner with folks and do all these different things. I gotta have my 5 seconds of sleep. So you just run out of hours in the day. You just run out of hours in the day. So at that point, it's like, you know what? I'll just take the whole damn box. We'll figure it out. We'll work it out. And that way, at least I can do the upgrade and then I'll sell some cards left over and I'll figure it out from there. And we'll take it one step at a time. I do have one thing though that I'm gonna grab that was also from that box. It was not a card. It was not a card. I'll grab it real quick. But here we got a couple comments here. I need some ore, Eric. There you go. By my first issue of Beckett, some guy named Wayne wrote on it. Took me a while to get that writing off so Dr. Beckett could sign it. Fair, Bobbles.
Yeah. I would have done the same thing. Yeah.
Yes, wherever I've seen that Beckett before, indeed. So my Mac Kaboom, 4 months too late. Damn. Yeah. 99-cent Sports Car says AMG plus Gong Show plus Carlos rubbing elbows. Future hockey card conglomerate. It's all coming together. Eric, you got a Sanderson rookie? It's a question for you.
I believe I have 2. I'll see if I can dig them out.
Yeah. You should get the second one just in case the first one gets dirty. So I wanted to make sure I touched on that since that was another thing I had within arm's reach. It was also kind of a side thing.
Going into the magic tickle truck box.
It's going in the magical tickle truck box. It's happening. So Brandon, so I made sure to do the Ken Reed book, the Jimbo Beckett autograph. We got the 56 tops here. Anything else in terms of pickups or anything story-wise that you feel is appropriate that you'd like to share?
So while Eric's on here, and I didn't bring it up here with me, it's still done. I don't have everything unpacked yet.
Sure.
I took the infamous chain that Eric had made for me. Allegedly, the only one in the world that holds the SGC holder.
At the time, yes, it was. Probably still is, but at the time, yes, it was.
And I thought it would be fun to put the Robertson Green PMG in. And I honestly thought the reaction would be, look at this idiot walking around with a chain around his neck with a card in it. Instead, the reaction was everybody stopping, looking at it, asking if they could take pictures, commenting on the card, love the chain, love the holder, all of that. So I didn't even have to try to pump Jason Robertson. All I had to do was wear it around my neck, and it did the work itself. So that was kind of funny to see. On another note, to break the internet rumors of me pumping Jason Robertson, I somehow left a hockey predominant card show without purchasing said Jason Robertson. So, shit happens.
But you did come home.
I did come home. I had it.
You did come home with some Jason.
Which stack did I put them in?
You did come home with Jason Robinson.
I did come home with a couple, yes. I came home with a little bit of everything. Let's see. Is they this stack? Where the hell did I put them?
I'm just going to assume you're saying you want to hit Eric, which is understandable. So does everybody else. Otherwise, you can go Sanderson or on Instagram. That'd be probably my...
they're right here. They're right here. Yeah.
Yep.
There's the aim box.
Yeah, with Jeremy Swayman.
the glossy O-Pee-Chee, because everything is O-Pee-Chee except for Ken Griffey Jr. cards, because I failed on my quest for a 90 O-Pee-Chee Ken Griffey Jr. The Martin site that was from Carlos.
Yep.
The holotypes. And this one I was actually very happy to see in hand, because I was wondering what they actually look like. They look like crap in the photos on eBay, but the star dates actually look nice in hand. So, but yes, those were some gifts, and there was a Brett Hall as well right here. And then Carlos muled me one card that I had him purchase, but the 2020 Topps Black Robles.
Yep.
And since you guys were talking about Steve and Eric showed his, I will show what I got off of him, and I'm very
so
happy.
real quick, Brandon, but just before you do, I'll read a couple quick comments. I'll answer one of the questions, and then you can show those ones real quick. Just hang on. I just want to say, Josh was saying, what's the value of the Gretzky rookie in issue 1? You got to specify. You want a Topps or a Peachy? I got both. Everything's a Peachy, just to be clear. We always want to make sure we clarify that. It's an important key piece of the puzzle. So from the 1990, this is September-October 1990 issue of the Beckett magazine back in the day. If you wanted the 7980 O-Pee-Chee, Wayne Gretzky, it is a $400 low column, $600 high column.
I was gonna say 500. I was hoping you'd let me guess. I was gonna say $500.
You want to guess the Topps one?
150.
300.
Okay, Brandon, what do you got?
150.
Okay, low column 250, high column 350. They're actually pretty close. 350 for the Topps, 600 for the O-Pee-Chee, and that is in the inaugural issue of the Dr. Jimbo Defensive Shilling Weekly.
That's what I paid for mine in like 2021.
See? It barely appreciated. Now you know. So that is the answer to your question. Joe Thornton's Hall of Fame speech is currently airing right now. I thought Eric might want to chip in. He's currently got it on the screen. He's not even looking at us. He's watching it in 4K.
Yeah, I really want to hear what he has to say.
He goes, I couldn't have done this without my good buddy, my personal friend, Eric Wade.
Yeah, and I don't know if I told the story on air, but Carlos knows it. Is that someone volunteered me to mule something over the border to bring to him, and I was like, dude, you can't volunteer me. You have to ask me first if I'm willing to do something. You can't be like, oh, I have a buddy that will bring this to you. No, I don't want to bring anything to him. I don't want to travel into downtown Toronto to go find him. And just no. So I didn't.
Eric, that's called voluntold. You're voluntold here all the time. I don't know. You should be used to it. Assume the position.
No.
Assume the position.
If he was at the expo, I would have done it. Okay? I would have done it. I would have just bit my tongue and been, here you go, Jumbo Joe. Here's the item that I was asked to bring to you. But no. I was voluntold that I had to like go into downtown Toronto and find this guy somewhere and bring this to him. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Nope. Not gonna do it. Thought about doing it, but not gonna do it.
Brandon, I think what's has to happen is I think he just needs to be voluntold a little harder. That way it's done. It's a done deal.
I said no.
Bobbles says, why did I choose a heavy National Treasure booklet to wear as my bling bling? Now I have a pinched nerve in my neck. Hashtag tragedy. Tragedy. I guess it's the only one who does not know what a Beckett price guide is in the DR. Bobbles, Robinson's 26-year-old sells to sell. No, the pump must go on. The pump goes on unabated. Good price, 250, 200 low, 400 high. We'd love to talk about breaking on a buyer level. 475, some guesses. All right. Moving something over the border, going to call the FBI. Call the FBI and Eric all the time. All day, every day. He must have committed some crime. I must have 30 to 40, 90 to 92,000 Joe Thornton be a player Millennium Autos. You know who wants them? Boom! Right there. That guy.
Got enough Joe Thornton cards, thank you, from this weekend that I did not ask for.
You did, and they were lovely, weren't they?
Yeah, they're lovely. I love them. Yeah.
By the way, so do you have the other cards aside from the Joe Thornton? The Joe Thornton one's good, but I've shown that one. Did you have the other ones? Because those are critically important. They're the best ones.
They're critically, like the other ones you gave me.
Oh yes, some of those are excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if you're being serious or not. You gave me this really nice Johnny Busick, right?
Yeah, that was subtly okay. But
Yeah.
we can do better. We can do better.
There was this one you're really fascinated about, Like a Boss.
Like a boss.
It's got rainbowy things in it.
Not only that, look at the glasses. Look at the necklace.
He's got Brandon's necklace on.
Yes.
Yeah, with the box opening that we did last night, you let me keep these Bobby Orr and Gordie Howe silver parallel thingies.
Yeah, we'll talk about the box break. It's just a quick story about it. We'll talk about it since it was on the Sunday.
I think this came from you. Did that come from you?
That one was not me. That would have been funny, but that was not me. I can't take credit for that one.
From me.
Okay, that was that was from you.
We got you covered. We got you covered.
This is my gift pile. And then oh crap, I'm trying to remember who gave me this. My memory's shot. Somebody really, it will come to me. Who gave me that? I think that might be Josh. I think Josh gave me that.
Maybe, could be. We'll have to double check on that.
Which is awesome. I absolutely love this. I already put it in a mag in a bag and the whole thing. So
mag in a bag.
Mag in a bag. So it's 80 out of 125. I'm pretty sure Josh gave me that. So that thing's awesome. I love it.
Yep. 99-cent sports cars here says he was at Frozen Pond signing Friday night, not far from Expo. Speaking of Joe Thornton.
Well, however far away he was, it was too far for me to go find him.
Damn. Stephanie says, my daughter found one Joe on the floor beside a washing machine. I feel like Eric is a bad gift receiver. Yes, Paul. Yes. Golden Silver 99 2000. I need to get my Joe Thornton 96-97 Upper Deck rookie card signed Program of Excellence. Fair. Nita Sanderson, yes. People gave Eric gifts in quotation marks. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Josh confirms.
Paul C gave me a gift, and we're gonna make a big deal about it on Friday.
On Friday, we're getting to that one. Yes, on Friday.
We're saving Paul's gift to me for Friday. There's a story, and just people. That's plural. The people, multiple people will pay. They will pay.
They'll pay like you in the like button.
They're gonna pay.
Just saying. Josh confirms that was him as far as that card.
Thought it was awesome. I freaking love it, Josh. That thing's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at this guy with his gift pile. He has a whole pile dedicated to the gifts. That's right, name.
Oh, the stuff that Bobby gave me is freaking ridiculous. I got stuff's on the floor that Bobby gave me.
Yep. Bob here says, if it was March, I'd do a Dr. Seuss bit with mag in a bag. I know. I built 2 sheds just for tubs of sports cards. That's right. Dan says, I can say this in all seriousness. Eric is a very gracious gift receiver. Wow. Look at you.
I try to be. When someone's nice enough to think of me and get me something, I try to be gracious. I really do appreciate it.
Gifts swiped off tables. Gifts. 5-finger discount. Gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, people give gifts.
Why he was detained.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a reason the cops are like literally on you all the time. They just assume. Damn, people give Eric gifts, much like some Roman senators gave Julius Caesar some knives. True. Twist. How many Tim Hortons coffees did Bobbles and Eric have while at Expo? Ooh, this is an interesting, valid question. Yeah, Brandon doesn't seem like a coffee guy.
Neither one of us drink coffee.
You are both trash. Literal trash. The worst.
I did have orange juice with Amanda a couple of mornings at breakfast. I had some orange juice.
You animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, Thursday I got yelled at because I didn't eat or drink anything all day.
Yep, you did get yelled at by that. Yep.
Friday I did take a break and get something to eat and something to drink.
Yep.
Saturday I took a moment since there was no place to sit Saturday. I went out to my car and sat down for a few minutes, and I actually had some bottles of water out there, so I grabbed a bottle of water and everything. And then Sunday obviously made the venture back. So I will say I didn't have any Tim Hortons coffee, but Timbits are freaking amazing. And I'm gonna make this announcement. So we ate at the restaurant, ate, in Niagara. I had the Timbits, tried some other snacks, had the floofy, what was that? Floofy cheesecake or something my wife had delivered.
Yeah, you didn't seem to love that.
Well, we ate it when we got into the room. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
But I still got home and I had lost 0.3 pounds.
Nice. Well, there's a lot of walking, man. A lot of calories burned if you hoof it.
So even going off the salad diet and didn't hit the gym or any of that, I still was able to manage to lose weight.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at something. Bear with me.
Yeah.
I had a snipe set and it didn't work because the seller blocked certain locations, and I was like, "You idiot! I would have been the high bidder." Dumbass. Yeah. Because I have both addresses, and I guess I should have switched it to the Canadian address. It probably would have worked. I was like, idiots.
And I do, I did take possession of the Marcel and Reggie card from
Yes.
Carlos that he got for me.
Yes.
So I appreciated him, getting this up in the Canadians and getting it to me. So I'm really excited about that. So, a connection I have with both those guys.
Fancy.
On the same card. So
fancy. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling through. Did anyone have Putin?
No.
I tried a couple bites of it, Dan. I'm gonna be honest. It took me a bit to get used to the fries up there because obviously I think they're probably way healthier, but they tasted different. So I wasn't a big fan. It wasn't terrible, but I didn't care for the taste of the fries. So
no, I wouldn't eat something like that.
I tried it. I just had to.
We'll discuss Eric's dietary proclivities further. We've learned more things. The lore has been expanded from this show. More to be discussed on Friday. We'll come back to that. Steep tea from Tim's. There you go. I think we need a special to cover Eric's dietary quirks. Yes. We will return back to this topic.
He could write a book on that too.
You really could. You really could. Did anyone particular Canadian staple? Large triples? Too much intake? French vanilla is the best drink at Tim's? Rob says we tried Firehouse Subs and they were amazing, as Stephen Carlos promised. They did a good job. They're pretty good. They're pretty solid. We have
Firehouse do well here in the States, so I didn't. I see Bobbles said the Canadian fast food thing. I thought about it today. The only, I guess, fast food type thing that we had was when we first got to Niagara. We were looking for something to just have quick for lunch, and we had Jimmy John's subs. But outside of that, everything we had was like restaurant and Canadian. We didn't want to eat shit that we could get here. So the restaurant there the restaurant at that hotel was great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always satisfied with it. That's the second year that I've stayed at that hotel. I've stayed at other ones in the past. So it's so convenient. The food is good. I have no complaints with it. And believe it or not, the service is really good. So I have no complaints about eating there at all.
Yeah, I think they do a good job. It's a good balance. That specific hotel, the reason I like it is it's got the kitchenette. It's well located for where we are. The restaurant downstairs is solid, very good. So it works out pretty well. It's one of those things where it's got a good balance because I've stayed at a couple different hotels there around there, and several of them are very good. It's just the timing. Yeah, so I'll answer 99s. It's called the Element. There's the Element and the 4 Points. They're actually together. The two of them are combined. But the Element is the one specifically we're talking about, and that's where a couple of us stayed. And it made it very handy. It was very convenient because, again, you could go downstairs, you could grab a bite to eat. There's a table that we used in the corner, which actually worked out. And I'll give you the whole box breaking story here. We'll tell you that in a second here. I'll read the rest of the comments and we'll get caught up. But it's a good spot. It does a good job. So let me quickly make sure I got everything read. So yeah, I read Rob's comment. The Firehouse Subs is solid, especially beside the expo. How do I get these guys' email? Whose email are you looking for? You'll have to just clarify that, and we can probably get you an answer to that. Fries with clumps of fat, not my thing. That's fair. Like, here's the thing. I live here. I don't eat poutine. But I'm familiar with it, obviously. But it's not my deal. It is what it is. Some people are into it. I'm not so much.
No.
Eric wants a poutine. I think he secretly does. He's one.
I've watched Amanda eat it once, and I sat there just going, I don't get it. That's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Carlisle here says, can you get Cuban cigars in Canada? Yes. Under the right circumstances, you can. Listen, if we had those, Eric would be extra excited.
He did buy gloves.
If weather's nice, Element is half an hour to the hall. It's right. That's about right. Both email. I collect a lot of different. So you can always shoot me a message on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel you're on. Let me make sure I get this right because they keep changing the location of it. On the YouTube channels, especially depends a lot of us. I don't know if you've got the setup for yourself, Brandon. You'd have to let me know.
The about section.
Yeah, it's basically I always double check. Is the about no, it's not the about section. I think literally it's you expand the more. So basically when you go to the channel, it'll have the description. There'll be a little button that says more. Actually, I'll show you. I'll just show you so you can see. It'll be easier this way.
Oh yeah,
I'll literally show you.
Mine's there.
Yeah, so I'll show you. Just any channel you ever want to get the answer to that question to. So here's my channel right here. Here's the main page. When I click on more, right here, view email address. There's a little spot there. You can literally click on that, and as long as you prove you're a human being, it gives you access to an email address, and you can shoot an email. So that's to me, to Brandon, and you. If somebody put the email address on there, that's where you get it. And then you can shoot an email. I don't hide it. I include an email address in there if somebody wants to shoot me a message. So it's always the best way. Free gloves above Disney, below the XXX. Eric's a special guy. Boy. So Eric, where are those gloves from? And what did you do with them after we left you?
It's none of your business.
How many times have they been cleaned professionally?
They haven't yet. But
Mm-hmm.
These are
right, what are the gloves? Go ahead.
So if you guys can see, each glove has Gordie Howe's, autograph, but not real. And he did advertisements for Eaton's of Canada back in the 70s, and I have a bunch of other things, from Eaton's with his name on it, his picture on it. So I have $40 Canadian to have, these, and things are in incredible shape too. Real leather palms. I mean, and the best part is that the fake autos here, I mean, there's not a scratch on them. They're
called facsimile autos, Eric. They're facsimile.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. Thank you.
And what do you need the palms to be special for, Eric? What do you need the palms for? What are you doing with the palms?
I'm just saying that they're in really good shape and they're real genuine leather.
I see.
So, so I collect Gordie Howe stuff, and I just thought these were so cool. And So for $40 Canadian, I was like, yeah, those are coming home with me.
So 99 cents here says, Eric, sniff them.
Nope. No.
Yep. Jump in the UFC. My buddy Carlos retired. Looking for training dummies. Facts. Can I wear those to shovel the snow? Yes. Yes. Good stuff. All right. So we'll start winding down slowly here in a moment. We're just about in a good spot here. And again, more than anything else, it's just to talk a little, decompress, a little debrief on it. And we figured we'd have that as a podcast episode. But I do want to share this briefly before I do. So this was one of the other items that was included in the box. Thematically appropriate, given that we always talk about the bird of Havre. There's a jersey of Havre that was picked up on the eBays and then muled over by Eric as well. So that is one to include on there. I wanted to have another jersey in there included. Did it win the box of Flawless? Eric's got you.
I actually made another mistake yesterday. I remember, I guess probably a year ago now, when you said that you picked up the Medano jersey from the show that was real cheap.
Uh-huh.
So right across from Marcel's booth, there was a guy there that had a small rack of jerseys.
Yeah. The custom, like, different media jerseys, right? That one?
No. So right across from Marcel, where the guy had like all the little McFarlane type figures or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday he had a small rack of jerseys, and they were like 65 for one, 2 for 125 or something like that. And he had a Tyler Sagan Reebok, nice, the nice hefty stitched one, and I should have bought it, but I don't know why I decided to walk away, but I should have picked that up, because what is that in US? Like probably $45. I'm not getting a nice stitched Reebok jersey like that cheap here, so I should have picked it up. But anyways,
that seemed to be the recurring thing with you, though. Like, it's always like,
yeah,
it was there. It was like 5 cents. But 5 cents. I don't know.
It was, we were getting ready to leave, and I don't know. I'm not an impulse buyer, I guess is what it is.
I would actually call that the most accurate statement. I would call it the most accurate statement you say.
The shit on the that they put in the aisles of the groceries, it never got to me. I am not an impulse purchaser.
Indeed. So it would seem. Fair enough. So yeah. So I wanted to make sure I at least covered that. Let's see here. I'll read a couple of these here. Brandon, do I need to give up on Cruz?
Many people would go against my take. In terms of give up on, I don't know what you mean. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near the player he was hyped to be, though. He's had enough time to show signs of, being a star. He's still young, but I would say don't go full Cruz.
Oh, don't go full Cruz. There you go.
Don't go full Cruz. I like another kid that's in the outfield way more than Cruz, and know his name is not James Wood.
Mm-hmm. So this is speaking specifically of Bowman Orange and Gold, talking about the variants, the parallels.
They've probably already lost a lot of their shine, so to speak. So, I mean, it's right now you're in, dare I say, defense mode. You're playing damage control at this point, because I don't see them. I mean, you're gonna have people questioning it anyway. He played a little bit the year before last. He played this year, and I mean, you're playing damage control right now. I would say move them if you can.
Mm-hmm. So I already showed off the Brett Favre jersey, Eric, just since
oh, nice,
thematically appropriate, since it was is a part of the box as well. So that's one of those ones that won't wind up on the video, just because it's a little awkward to showcase it, just from my perspective. but I did want to make sure I at least touched on it. Showed the magazine, showed that one, showed the box. The singles, the actual cards themselves, in the morning. You will get that video where I go into that because I already recorded it. So that'll be there. And on the wrestling channel, I'm going to record that probably tomorrow. And I've got a stack of that. I was going, when I got back, I started going through the checklist and scratching stuff off. So I wanted to make sure I touched on that. Okay. So I think that's it. I think we've covered the main things I want to touch on for now. We got a couple of stories and things we'll share on Friday. But Brandon, thank you for joining us on this one. Is there any, so real quick, we've touched on pickups. We've touched on a lot of the main stories, a lot of the, takeaways, opinions and thoughts on a lot of different things. Is there anything left that we haven't touched on for this show before we put a bun on it for now, until we get to some other stuff on Friday and Eric's eating proclivities?
I honestly thought that, and we talked earlier, and I was going to bring it up earlier, but we kind of jumped around. When I know there was a lot of money trading hands. I know that the dealers were very happy with the money they were making. And of course, we all want deals and we want everything free or next to nothing. But I felt that many of the dealers just their prices were just very, very high. Forget about the fact that it's Canadian money and all. I mean, especially when it comes to vintage stuff, I know what stuff's worth, and I just felt like a lot of these prices have really got above and beyond what either in the past. I just walked away from a lot, shaking my head like, how in the world can you ask that much for that card? That just doesn't make any sense. But deals were there if you were able to find them with reasonable people, reasonable dealers, great cards. I mean, one of the best pickups of my entire weekend was a Patrick Waugh O-Pee-Chee rookie. Okay. I have Topps ones. I've never had an O-Pee-Chee one. It was on my list of things I wanted to do. Every single case, except for the case I found this in, had this card right around $300 Canadian. I mean, this thing is crispy. I mean, you're not going to find much wrong with this. It is awesome. Okay. $300, and just about every single case that I found it in raw. I paid $100 for this. It was, the guy wanted $160. I got him. I asked I had a $100 bill in my hand. I asked him if he was interested in it. He said, sure. Took the 100. I took the card. I couldn't, that made sense to me. $300 all over the show. It's like they got together before the show started and came up with these prices. And I just think a lot of them were really overpriced. So
yeah, that happens a lot with certain categories. Like they'll have them on there. The dealers just want to hang on to them. The thing is, look, the reality is, so I get what Satfin is saying here. The reality is I bought vintage at the show. Not this time around because I wasn't honestly looking for it. I really wasn't.
Oh, I bought tons.
Yeah. The reality is I will buy something if I want it, if the price is reasonable. But if it's not, then I don't really care. It's not even a negotiation tactic. I'll just walk away. I really don't give a shit. Like there's plenty of places for me to get stuff. It's not that complicated. If I find something that I'm happy with, that's okay. Then I can make it work. But it depends. Some dealers have a certain idea in their head, and that's the way they want to go, and that's fine. That they can keep it. Name here's making a good point though. Eric picking up more Canadian cards. Been a Canadians fan since day one. These are facts. Name speaks truth. Not even joking. I have over 20 of them for Patrick Roy. Graded 9.5 KSA. Eric should have been there for it, man. Pick him up at the flea market. Yep. Yeah. Steal Frank says. Eric, I paid $300 for PSA 7 Roy rookie. You got a good deal, raw price 100. Nice. It's very good. Oh, Brandon, it was reminding me just earlier when we were discussing the last little bit there. One thing I'll mention just here at the end. Obviously, there's a lot of cards over at the show. We saw a lot of different things, but one of the ones that you saw was the infamous Medano Shield. The infamous Medano Shield made it onto the show floor. Do you really want to? We can finish off on this. So, by the way, thank you, everybody. It's been a great chat tonight. Hopefully, you enjoyed some of the stories. Again, we'll have a couple. We've saved some stuff for you on Friday. We'll have a little bit more for you on Friday. But hopefully, you enjoyed the stories and everything for this one. We wanted to kind of chat on it. We figured this episode should be that. It should be a little decompress on that. So, Brandon, obviously, we've got an infamous Mike Medano Shield from 2425 Ultimate that we discussed previously that sold for just shy of $9,100 USD, the Americanos dollars, and it made an appearance at said show.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
So there it is.
Look at that.
In person, holding it, took the picture. You can see the date and when I tagged him. It was one of the first things that I seen and found at the show, and it was not in a dealer's case. I was actually walking around. This dealer actually had a lot of Wyatt Johnston. I was looking through his cases and stuff. And, when you're looking, you hear conversations going on. Well, I was looking, and I heard the guys talking over, and I happened to look to my left, and sitting on the top of the display case was a couple cards, and I looked over and I was like, no freaking way. And so I asked him, I was like, is that the one that just sold on eBay? And he was like, yeah, I'm the buyer of it. And I was like, no freaking way. Can I take a picture of it? And so as you've seen, I did and sent it to Carlos. He knew about the bounty. He admitted to the dealer he was talking to that he was all for surpassing the bounty price. Obviously, as you can see, it's got the painter's tape and everything on it where the seller shipped it to him. I did not get into details of why or future plans or anything like that. I did show Eric, I believe it was the following day, who the individual was.
Yep.
Because I seen the guy. Me and Eric were walking around. And I seen the guy at a guy's one of the dealers' booths. I'm pretty sure he was trying to shop the card, but I think it's a bit early, especially at that number he paid.
So real quick, I wanted to touch on that because what struck me as interesting is not necessarily that it was there at the expo, but what struck me as interesting was the guy just bought this card for a record price, a price that I am on the record as saying, frankly, I think is way too high. Not a little too high, way too high. But at the end of the day, it's not my money, so y'all do you do whatever you want. But in my opinion, it's way too high. However, with that understood, this guy decided to buy, but then he's literally shopping around. I'm sitting there like, what is wrong with you? What like, it's been 5 seconds. Do you think that suddenly, you know what? I'm really mad I didn't win it. You know what? 9,500, sir. Like, who's this buyer? Other than Eric, who has limitless funds, who is this person?
Right.
Like, I don't get it. I'm not following here the logic of like immediate.
Well,
if you're gonna do this, throw it into the vault for a little while. Let it hide away, and then bring it back in the marketplace later. Not now.
Well, also take into account, what did he pay? Like 91 something US?
Yeah.
And then you're taking it to a Canadian show, so you're
saying basically 13K plus.
Yeah. So
like that's just to break even. That's to break even. That's to break even. That like you need about 13K just to break even. Yeah. It's an absurdly high number. Like it's wild how high it is. It's really, I don't understand.
Eric seen the guy. He's not someone that if you like walked up to on the street, you would expect to be moving big cards and big sums of cash. But he had some cash flow on him. He was prepared.
Interesting dude.
Yeah, interesting is the best way to describe him. In fact, the day that the day that I showed who it was to Eric, he was wearing like a Santa, like Hawaiian button-up shirt.
As you do.
Yeah.
As you do.
Loved it.
Sure.
So,
as you do. Yeah.
But
so there you go. Frank here says, Carlos, can you share Medano's shield? It'll have to be another night. It's in the other room. I'd have to go get it, and it would take me a couple of minutes. But another night, ask me, and then, yeah, I can try to make sure it's around. I got a big Lane Hudson coming. I'm not sure if I eBay it. You do, man. Still going, better late than ever. Appreciate you joining in. Always, and always a pleasure chatting with you as well.
I don't know how much longer you're planning on going, but I'm gonna have to hop off because it is.
I'm literally about to wind down. I'm trying to get through the comments. I literally just
Okay.
want to finish since we're already here. That's an eventual Norris winner. Maybe the buyer had a free $6,000 credit, perhaps. Bad gambler, real easy. It's something. Brandon's swatting it up. Sounds like the guy needs real friends to help him shield the bids. Hey, some defensive shielding might help. We're just loaded. Yes, yes. This is only 8 p.m. It is true on the West Coast. Name, you got to take over. You got to show up here. Name, if you go here, I can go take a break, and you and Eric can just hang out and talk about Montreal Canadiens. That's all he wants to do.
I don't want to talk to Name. I don't like Name.
Ooh, you can talk about Montreal Canadiens and Joe Thornton. That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be an amazing show.
I like Joe Thornton more than I like Name.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
On that bombshell. And that's it. We got to the bottom of the comments. On that bombshell, Brandon, we made it. So there's episode 153. Regular episodes will be back starting next week. On Friday will be a regular episode, and then next week we'll be back on the normal schedule. Links in the description to everything. We thank AMG, our friends, for supporting everything. We'll talk maybe a little more on Friday because they were very supportive and very helpful to us in a lot of different ways. So we always appreciate their support and that related to it in all endeavors. And it was a great show. We had a lot of fun. Let me put a button on this. We had a lot of fun. It was a great show. It was great meeting everybody in person. It was great meeting Brandon and Mrs. Bobbles. Great to hang out with them and chat with them a little bit. One thing you didn't touch on that was at the beginning of it, just before they went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, I did get a chance to quickly say hello to them just before they popped in, and then told them that the person at the Union Station lies and that you can 100% get from Union Station to the building underground. You don't have to go outside.
Yeah, we walked in the rain.
Yeah, so now you know they were sitting on a throne of lies. So again, we'll still got a couple more stories that we'll definitely touch on Friday, and we'll talk about it. But obviously, you can see we did well. We found some cool stuff. We got some good stories to go associate with it and everything else. And we even tolerated Eric, and they let him back in the country. How nice are they?
Yeah, they had no issues. They didn't search my car, nothing. Where you heading? Home. Where's that? And I told them. And they said, okay, have a nice day.
They just figured the worst thing they could do to you was let you go back home.
Yeah.
So just done. And that's it. Brandon, Bobbles and Ball Cards, known associated 530 Flips. Eric, Sanderson on the Instagrams. You can send all your hate mail right there. And if you want some tips on defensive shield betting, he's your guy.
I know a little bit about it.
No one else knows more. That's it. So you can compare the notes on that and on your Joe Thornton super collections. He can share some of his too.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And that's it for us. Back with the regular episodes going in. More videos coming up on the channel. All that good stuff. And tomorrow in the morning will be part 2 of the pickups. So there are some more pickups definitely that are in there. Chosen Rosen, some of the Not Swafella. We got some hockeys. We got a little baseball. We got all kinds of stuff. We even got some poker cards. That's the kind of variety we're talking about on that pickup video. Name says, last comment, Eric has the best Canadians collection posted on his IG. Yes. Facts. That's it. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. West Coasters, you got plenty of time. East Coasters, it's still Monday. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, the beginning of the week. Have yourselves a good one. We'll catch you the next one.
Bye, guys.